I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson is in custody. Authorities say he's the one seen in the photos and a video climbing off of a roof after the assassination of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University.
We believe the father saw the photograph, confronted Tyler Robinson about it. Initially, talked to him about turning himself in. The son apparently wouldn't do it, according to our sources. They then reached out to a member of the U.S. Marshals Task Force who got involved, and then they were able to convince this young man to wait. The marshals showed up. He was taken in. Law enforcement has often talked about how releasing photographs and using the public can be a force multiplier, and that's exactly what happened.
That's ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas. Cumberland University here in Tennessee has fired 2 employees after making what they say were inappropriate comments on the internet about Kirk's murder. The 2 individuals are Michael Rex, who's a faculty member, Max Wood, who's a staff member. Rex tried to apologize on Facebook, but too late. Cumberland University President Dr. Paul C. Stum emphasized the university's commitment to a, quote, safe and inclusive learning environment and reiterated that callous and insensitive comments have no place in its community. Then earlier today on Fox News.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis is
That's the next city.
Deeply troubled. And the mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy. And the governor, Tennessee, the governor is happy. Deeply troubled. We're going to fix that just like we did Washington.
President Trump talking about his plans to send in the National Guard to Memphis. Mayor Paul Young directly pushed back on the idea of military deployment, stating he wants more funding instead for intervention and prevention, additional patrol officers, and case support to strengthen Memphis PD's investigations. Let's check in with Jim Ryan for some money news.
After records were set for the major indexes Thursday, stocks were mixed this morning. The Dow was off 183 points headed into the midday. The Nasdaq Composite was higher by 0.4%. The S&P was up a fraction. Even as stocks soared to record highs, Americans, especially lower and middle income Americans, are feeling less optimistic about the economy. The University of Michigan's preliminary consumer sentiment index for September has dropped, as it did in August. A new function is coming to smartwatches. Bloomberg reports that Apple next week will roll out an iPhone feature that detects hypertension. The device has gotten FDA clearance. It still needs regulatory approval, though. It's Sabrina Carpenter Day at Dunkin'. The donut and coffee chain today only is giving away reusable cups featuring the singer's signature kiss mark with Sabrina written in white cursive letters.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, gang, it's Bobcat Dirt Days, and I'm Joan Jones, and I'm out here celebrating Bobcat Dirt Days at Bobcat of Maury County. So we're out in Columbia. We're along Pulaski Highway, and right now the burgers are cooking. They're sizzling right now. We've got lunch for you out here, burgers and hot dogs and all kinds of games and prizes. There's a little something to drink because it's hot out here today, and there's giveaways too. So you're going to want to come over to Bobcat of Maury County in Columbia here and check out the equipment that's on display here and also the stuff that you can win. And all you have to do is come here. You can scan a QR code, put some information in, and you will be registered to win one of 2 mowers that Bobcat is giving away. So come on out. We'd love to see you here. I'd love to shake some hands and see some folks out here. Get something to eat for lunch and join me for Bobcat Dirt Days. Reporting here live from Maury County, Joan Jones, WTN News.
What is happening, everybody? Broadcasting live out here in Laverne. Oh, Bobcat. It's Dirt Days. I don't know if they're going to let me drive one of these. Ken, did they let you drive one? Probably
Well,
not.
they wanted me to, but I wasn't there long enough. And that was probably a good idea because that would be a public safety violation.
I would say so. I'm excited. I'm going to do one of my breaks from one of these things. They're so cool. I don't even know what this one does. It digs stuff. I know that's got some. Oh, this is awesome. So we've been out here all day. They got food. Come on out here. Join us today. They've got all kinds of great deals going on. Chance for you to win some. Hello there. So there's just tons of stuff going on out here. And come down, say hi to us. They've got all kinds of snacks, but dealers are here, the whole 9 yards. It's packed out. So come on down, hang out with us today. And Joan, of course, she's out there. We're all over. Where were you today, Ken? Where'd they stick you?
I was at Bobcat of Wilson County, just north of Lebanon Road off Highway 109.
All right. Well, come on down and check us out. We're hanging out here all day. We're going to have some snacks. We're going to have fun. And want to talk to people. You know what? We need more of that. You and I were talking before the show, Ken, because we ran into each other about, conversations. We're just not having conversations anymore.
Got to have them. Got to have conversations. We got to, emotions are going to run high, but, people have got to be able to express their opinions and do it in a way that is respectful. And we've got to stop this killing each other. We got to stop it.
It first of all, it doesn't help your agenda because what you just said is I can't beat you on ideas. And so because of that, I need to take you out. I don't like what you had to say. Because of that, I need to take you out, which advances nothing. And then what you have is, because I agree with Chris, and we've been talking about it. I felt like we passed something the other day. And, the Rubicon, whatever you want to call it, I felt like we stepped over it. And it is a scary situation because I do worry. I see the stuff that I know, the stuff I get. I know the stuff I get from a lot of people, and I'm fine with that. I don't care if you want to yell at me and stuff, but there are people out there that, they are so angry. And why are you angry? Because you didn't like this guy's voice, you didn't like what he said? Then again, beat him with your ideas. You don't like what he has to say? Then prove that your ideas are better. Have a conversation with him. Treat him and see him as a human being, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, or who you love, believe, whatever it is. Show them, this is who I am. What this kid did, that was not it. And the hate that he had for somebody you've never met and you had no idea. I was talking to my wife earlier. Jesus came, died for us, and he died for us, and it was about forgiveness. And when you hold stuff in your heart and you can't forgive people for whatever you think they've done to wrong you, that's on you. That is a burden that you're carrying that he died for. That is a burden that you're carrying that you don't need to carry, which isn't going to help you. It makes your life miserable. And I don't know why we are not having more honest conversations. Because we can't. Because we've allowed ourselves to be wrapped up in identity. Identity politics just isn't the DEI stuff. So many people out there, wherever you vote, you believe that, somebody challenges your beliefs or says, you know what, I think that's not true. Or you automatically take it as it's a slight to you. And that isn't real. That's not a way to live. First of all, we listen to our good friend Kylie, who is on White Woman Wednesday, tells us how horrible. We always joke about how do you live like that, right? Like, how do you live in that situation where you're always offended?
And if she ever comes on with us, we'll have that conversation with her.
Absolutely. I told you guys the other day, I go on and I tell everybody, because people will say horrible things about her because it's the internet, as we all know. And to do that, I don't agree with 99% of the things that she says. But she's got every damn right to say them. And on top of that, how dare you threaten her or say horrific things because you think you can? Because you're not combating her thoughts or opinions. You're just saying you're the worst person. I hope you're this. I hope you're that. That's not a way to win an argument. That's like because. Right? That's what my kids say. Because is not an answer. It's not. It is not an answer.
You don't have to look her up and you don't have to listen to her.
No. It's I tell, yesterday. So I was telling Belle after the show. So we had Afton on. Of course, everybody was pissed because she had a voice. And, my thing is, let her have her. You guys all know where she stands. You getting pissed isn't going to change anything. You know where she stands long before she came on. You want to hear a fight. I want to hear a conversation. That's it. Simple. They're all going to come on. I'm going to let them say their piece. Then you guys decide who you vote for if they're in your district. That's it. Period. You know, I said the same people that were pissed off because I didn't yell at her and she felt bad about it are the same people also who didn't care that I didn't scream at Scott Sapicki, who didn't care that I didn't go after Jody Barrett. No, because they're going to come on, and one of the things that's going on in our country that is such a hot mess, nobody listens. It's one thing to have an opinion, but if you're not going to listen to somebody else's opinion, that's where it goes wrong. Watching people scream over each other is, imagine, it's like fighting with your wife. Does that get you anywhere? Screaming and yell at each other? Probably not. Usually when everything calms down and you have a conversation, that's when things change. And we need more of that. We need just as much as we need the opportunity to have conversation. If you're not going to listen, it's not a conversation.
And that's what, that's what Charlie Kirk did. He encouraged conversation.
Yes. Oh, and I like debates. I like having conversations. I'm not here to and I always tell everybody, I don't go into a debate like that to win something.
Right.
No, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know what you think. I want to know what your opinions are.
Yeah, but people expect you to be a surrogate for their anger.
Yeah. No, I'm not here for information. I want to give people a platform where they can have their say and get their message, whatever it is, if they're on the right or left. You know, we're going to have all these people on the right, on the left. You have to decide for yourself. You're going to do your homework. And don't listen. And I always tell everybody, go vote or don't vote. That's your choice. But I'm not going to be, again, you're not affirmation. I just want the truth. And if the truth hurts your side, no matter if you're on the right or left, that's a you problem. But you got to be willing to take stuff in and look at your neighbors as your neighbors. Look at your, we don't do that anymore. We look at people as red or blue, black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, atheist.
You're on my team or you're not.
Yeah, that's it. And we're on your team, Bell. You know that.
I'm on Brother Bell's team.
Yeah, he's a good team. I mean, he can't walk right now because he hurt himself, but it's a good team. People are asking where you are, Bell.
I'm on injured reserve.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Bell broke his foot, and he's going to wait till it falls off before he gets it checked.
Well, Brother Bell's just going to wait until it goes away.
Would you guys stop? You're like mother hens. I'm rubbing dirt on it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. How's that working? Remember when you were a kid? Was it Tessin? Got to rub that Tessin on it?
Well, Brother Bell, they're doing dirt days at Bobcat. You should
Absolutely.
go there and rub some dirt on it.
Maybe they can help me out.
Yeah.
See, I need to be out there, not at a doctor's.
Yeah, no. And you're right. Somebody said all Charlie was doing was having conversations. Yeah, he was. That's all he was doing. He was having conversations. Some people can't handle it. That's the problem. The reason the First Amendment is the first, and it's that one, because that's the one that takes the pressure off. That's the one that allows people to have their voice, to be who they are, to express themselves. When you get rid of that, and that isn't working, right, because somebody, a government overreaches and wants to, that's when things go sideways. Some people, this kid, and we'll get into him a little bit later, he didn't kill himself, which is good. He didn't die in a blaze of glory, which is good. Because now we get another sneak peek into why. Why? What happened? What happened in your life for the last 2 years where you became so political, but so full of hate that you sat there and thought, I need to kill somebody who I disagree with, having never met him, having never done anything where you were closely related, even probably said hi, maybe even went to one debate, if any. But this was your thought. Because you didn't like what somebody said. That is the worst.
It kind of strikes me that this kid, Tyler Robinson, I think he's the same age as Matthew Crooks, who was the Butler, Pennsylvania shooter.
Yeah.
And
I think he was.
They're like 20-something. They're 22 years old. And, I understand why they had to take Crooks out. I understand fully. But we really don't know much about that kid.
We know nothing about him. We know no more about him than the day it happened.
I find that odd.
I completely find that odd. I mean, what 22-year-old doesn't even have a Facebook, an Instagram, a nothing?
Right.
I mean, it was almost like he was grown in a lab to do something.
And I've not heard anything about any social media footprint from this Robinson kid either.
No, but his buddies, his buddy realized that there was something going on, and then the dad. Could you imagine being the dad where you confront your child and said, "Did you do this heinous act?"
Brother, I cannot. I can't imagine that.
Did you do that? I mean, I was sitting there today thinking, looking at your child, asking, "Did you do this thing?" And first of all, you're a cop. 27 years. You've been a law enforcement officer. Your wife, his mom, she works with disabled people. You think you've done all. You've raised it all, and you did what, son? You committed a heinous act where you took another human being's life because you did not like the conversation or the things that he said. Rather than combat it, you decided to shut him up, and having to do that, and then having to take your son into the same place that you work because of what he did. I couldn't even, that right there is insane.
Yeah, I don't ever want to have that conversation.
No. I mean, I had a conversation with my son the other day about him riding his bike. I'm like, dude, you got to listen to your mom, right? You can't ride around without your helmet. First of all, you fall way too much. But it's that kind of conversation, I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah.
And having to confront your son and coming to the realization that you raised somebody who was capable of that.
Yeah, this kid lived 300 miles away.
Yeah.
From Utah Valley University.
Yeah.
He just planned it, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, it feels like there was an actual thought that went into this that was more than just the night before I'm going to go do something.
He knew how to get up there, and then he knew how to get down.
And he had a plan for what he was going to do with the gun and where he was going to take this and what he was going to do. That right there shows me that this was full intent to do something that was heinous.
Well, and then that report from Pierre Thomas that I played there at the top, Apparently he was pushing back against his father's recommendation that he turn himself in. And the father then had to start killing time, somehow was able to notify the U.S. Marshals, and had to somehow keep his son there to allow the Marshals time to get there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what's going through that father's mind?
And you know what? Even today, the Spencer Cox, he thanked the family and the friends for doing the right thing.
Right.
And for being a part of this, which, as he said, had to be just so hard to do, knowing that your son is not only – first of all, your son is a pariah for a vast majority of people, even people that didn't like a lot of what Charlie – not the crazy people out there, but the people out there that didn't like what Charlie said. They look at this and said this is not a way to solve things, because everybody knows, like anything, one thing like this that happens – there's a pushback, and that's my fear. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're out here. It is dirt days, all kinds of dirt. I'm going to go get some dirt in a minute. I'm very excited. And we'll see if they're going to let me drive some a little bit later. Yeah, this will be good. So I would suggest everybody in the room probably leave when that happens, because that may be coming. Reach out to us across all of our social media. We got more of this, a bunch of other stuff going on today, too. We've got some fun stuff as well. It is the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. Hey, nice to meet you. You're in front of everything, and you're not even getting it right. I'm just so. Our friends over at Bulwark Capital, they're my buddies, and I'm telling you right now, they're doing a great webinar. It's called Back to Basics. If you've got a 401k, if you've got a retirement, you've got investments, and you're looking around and thinking, are things going well? I'll tell you this, they're doing so incredible. I think about 26% this year, and the reason is of how they do it. What they do is so much different than everybody else, because global investors. There are managers who are active each and every day, and they're doing Back to Basics is what it's called. It's a webinar. It's the 2nd of October. It is 5:30 our time absolutely free. You can go to knowyourriskpodcast.com to sign up, knowyourriskpodcast.com. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes. They're going to show you what they're all about. You can ask questions and go from there. Check it out. Sign up for yourself, knowyourriskpodcast.com today from our friends at Bulwark Capital. Investment advisor service offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk, not a guarantee of past performance, doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 25298.
Hey, it's Joan, and I'm out at the Bobcat of Murray County, and I got today to get a hot dog here, and there's some hamburgers going. It's Bobcat Dirt Days, and there's some deals going on out here today, and it's a busy day here, but I was able to manage to get the manager of this location here in Columbia. His name is Tyler, and there's a big giveaway going on today. And Tyler, I understand that we've got some lawnmowers that are being given away. Tell me about it.
Yes, we've got two walk-behind Bobcat mowers. They are WB 700 zero-turn walk-behinds. We have two of them, 36-inch deck, 14 horsepower. The way to enter is show up at any of our Middle Tennessee branches, our region, and there's QR codes posted around. Scan the code, give us a little bit of information, and you're entered to win. So they're gonna draw those two mowers here in the next few days, and come and see us. Food, hang out. We got drinks. We'll be here all day.
Yep, they're giving away some hats and some cool stuff here as well. So come on out. We're at the Columbia location. It's on Pulaski Highway. Love to see you here. It's Joan Jones reporting here for Bobcat Dirt Days.
Well, neighbors of the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk are speaking out after the arrest of 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. We'll let you hear some of that and tell you about these swatting incidents that have cropped up after the assassination of Kirk. It actually led to a Navy shooting, at the Naval Academy, and it was a false report. We'll tell you about it at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yeah, I am. Thank you very much. Belle whispered in my ear, "You're hot." Okay, so we're going to have...
Stop telling me what I already know.
I know, right? It's the legs, man. It's the legs. Ken and I wear shorts. That's who we are. That's what we do. You need to deal with it.
Shorts until December.
Amen. Shorts forever, Ken. We're inside all day, brother.
Yeah, well, I do have to get out of my Hyundai and walk into the building.
You know what? Funny story about so when I'm a kid from California. I'm from LA and from Long Beach. I surfed and played soccer my whole life. I don't wear pants. Those are leg prisons. And I was in England, and it was freezing and it was snowing, and I'm on the underground, and there is a couple across from me, and they're like, super emo, and she's got like nose rings that are chained, and they go down to her nipply-doos, and then they go over to the guys. It's so hilarious, right? Like it's something out of a one of those weird movies, and I was laughing. I'm sitting there in shorts, and there's a guy next to them, and he looks at them, and he looks at me and goes, he's wearing shorts. But they said, and I said, hey, I spend 90% of my time indoors.
Yeah.
Right?
Man, whenever I lived in Boise, man, the native Idahoans, they freaking loved winter. I mean, because they grew up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nothing to them. Winter was like their summer. I mean, and those people, they wore shorts year round, even whenever it was like 4 degrees.
Wow. Well, there's a reason for that, man, because they love to go out and ski. They're outdoorsy folk.
Skiing, yes.
You and I aren't as outdoorsy as we'd like to make ourselves believe.
Oh, I love to get outdoors.
Besides shooting turtles in somebody's backyard, dude, you're not as outdoorsy as you think.
But I'm not going to wear shorts in 4-degree weather.
Oh, I would. Because my legs are so good, man.
No, because you're crazy.
Well, and because, but I'm only out. Well, you know what? Part of it, too, is because when I played soccer, I mean, I was playing in minus 5, 10 degrees all the time. There's no stopping that.
Yeah.
That was my job. So we got a ton of stuff to talk about, and a lot of you guys are chiming in about, what happened and how did this happen. I think that's that's one of the things that's not being, I think, answered enough. Where did this guy snap? Because his grades are up. You seem to be great. His family loved him. He's got little brothers. They seem to be happy. Somewhere along the line, this kid took a path that, ended up costing Charlie his life and ended up ruining this kid's life and, maybe helped us, unfortunately, cross the Rubicon, as they say, and jump the shark. I don't know. But we have to have a serious conversation about that. Where are these kids doing it? It's not just always at college. And it's a lot of it's online too. And there was something that the governor said today I want to talk about as well, about how he feels about social media. But you know what? I think he's missing the point on that. So we got that. We're out here. It is Dirt Days. We are out here, and we're in Laverne, and it is gorgeous out here. They got food. I'm getting ready to eat a hot dog. We're going to talk to their manager in a minute about all the stuff. We're going to find out what she's going to let me drive or not drive. And I want to find out where is the mower I'm going to win, because it's not a drive mower, guys, but it's huge. I've seen it. It's big. Huh? It's a zero turn. It's from Kirby. He knows. That's the kind of thing, maybe zero turning. That's what we need. I don't know if I need it for my apartment, but it is what it is. We're out here. Dirt Days. Bobcat, come out and hang out with us. We got lunch. We got food, all kinds of good stuff. We're going to be here till 3 o'clock. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. In Washington, Utah, neighbors of the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk are speaking out after 22-year-old Tyler Robinson was identified as the shooter, taken into custody last night. Here's Alex Stone.
As Tyler Robinson was growing up, Kristen Schwerman says she knew him well. She lives only 3 doors down from the Robinson family and was a custodian at his elementary school.
He was a very quiet.
She says he did very well in school and scored high on the ACT test. She thinks social media changed him.
I think a lot of it's mental health problems we have.
Alex Stone, ABC News.
Meanwhile, authorities on high alert this week after numerous phony 911 calls called in to college campuses across the U.S. The swatting incidents, which claim a shooting is happening on campus, led police to arrive to a crime scene that doesn't exist. Here's Aaron Katersky.
The concern here is twofold. Swatting wastes law enforcement resources and sends heavily armed officers into student spaces with guns drawn. Naval Academy in Annapolis, a midshipman was shot during the response, had to be flown by helicopter to the hospital. Evidence of why swatting is so dangerous.
Right now, getting some breaking news. This from CBS. An ICE agent apparently shot and killed a man who drove his vehicle into agents. This was just outside of Chicago, apparently, according to the Department of Homeland Security. And ABC News spoke exclusively with the uncle of the 23-year-old woman brutally murdered on a North Carolina light rail. Stephanie Ramos has more.
The family of 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska, who was murdered on a Charlotte light rail train weeks ago, is speaking out.
Irina was the glue of the family.
For her uncle, justice is about more than the trial. It's about remembering the young woman chasing the American dream.
She wanted better things for not just herself, but for her family, and she was working towards that.
Her family is calling for change to make communities safer.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
If you see me do this, it means bring that mic up. Bring it up a little bit.
All right, guys, let's talk about the USS.
Down.
Johnny Structural System.
Perfect.
Once you come on out, there they are, and you're thinking to yourself, why would I need USS? Because you've got cracks. You've got issues maybe with your foundation. You know what? You don't see it, but it's there, and you want to make sure that you get it handled. It doesn't matter what it is, right? We had a ton of rain. That stuff gets in there. It sits down. The next thing you know, you got wood rot and mold. Then you're talking about foundation problems and crawl spaces. Oh, my goodness. Have USS come out. They're not going to charge you a thing. That's what they're going to do. They're going to come out. They're going to give you a full inspection. Don't charge anything, and they're not going to sell you anything you don't need. It's that simple. 30 years in business, the best around. Call them today. United Structural Systems, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or online at USSTN.com. We're out here. It's Dirt Days. Bobcat. Brooks is with us. All right, brother. So we are at Bobcat. Laverne, come on down. We're going to be here. They've got lunch. Everybody's eating ice cream, like their 12th thing of ice cream. I'm having a hot dog. Talk to me about what's going on here. Which one do I get to drive?
Any of them, man. Any of them. 20% off all rentals. We're giving away one of two walk-behind mowers, the 7000 series WB 7000. Come in. You have to be here to scan. We're giving that away sometime today. You can win one of two. We're doing demos. The operator skill competitions out on the side here.
What is we were trying to figure out, what's that? What's the operator skill? Like, so Ken and I were saying we could probably drive this thing, but we're pretending we can. What is the operator skills?
Everybody thinks they have the best operator. Everybody. So bring your best guy down here. We got 3 cones set up. Just basically grabbing small objects and seeing if you have the skills to pick it up and put it back down. You gotta be gentle with it.
Because we've seen those things with the forklifts. Have you seen them like in Europe? And they have you're up at 2 a.m. You're like, I should probably bet on this. And then that guy's got the penny or whatever it is, and he puts it on something, and he brings it back, and he picks it up. So that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome. So you can win stuff. The mower, right? So it's what is it? No turn? Is that what it is?
Walk behind.
Walk behind.
Yes, sir. Walk behind commercial grade. So it's very small, but it's in those guys that are commercialized. They need them to get up on those hills. Very tight spaces and stuff like that. So
that is awesome. And so it's going on all day. Come on out here. You guys have a chance to, they've got food, which is, first of all, it's a winner right there. I mean, am I right, guys? It's food. It's food. Woo! Food, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Snacks galore and so much more. That guy over there, and he said that out loud, and you probably didn't hear it, but it didn't matter. And then you come over here and you scan that, and then we win a walk-behind mower, one of 2. It's WB 7000. It's one of my favorite ones, Ken. I just want you to know that. Never had one of those before. But this is so cool. And I can't – so how hard is it to drive one? Let's be honest. What is this thing?
This is a E10 mini excavator.
Okay.
So smallest model that we make.
So it's for the little people.
The tracks move in and out. So if you have to get in somebody's backyard, it'll go down to, I believe, 39 inches. So typical houses these days are 4 feet. The gate, so you can get in between that. Then when you get in that backyard, you can get it back out for more stability. So
there you go. See, so is this what we're going to drive me around on today?
I could teach you how to do it in 2 minutes.
Ooh. See, now you say that, but then no. But we're going to do it. But 2 minutes, that'd be
absolutely.
Then I can go do the demo thing. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be so awesome. So come on down. Anything else you want to tell us about how awesome it is here?
No, sir. That's it. Come on down and see us. We got 2 salesmen that are working out of this branch right now. It's Brooks Goods and Matt Vipon. So come in, ask for one of us.
You're Brooks?
Yes, sir. That's me.
There you go. Come hang out with Brooks. Who's the other? Do you get like a bonus if you sell some more stuff?
Maybe.
Well, Brooks is it. The other guy didn't want to come on. Brooks is it. So come on down here. And you're here all day?
Yes, sir. All day long.
All right. Come get some snacks. Come have some fun. Appreciate you coming on, man. We'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Back at it. We were talking earlier about, a lot of you texting about with Charlie about the having conversations. A lot of you are saying, yeah. And we need to have conversations, but the listening part of stuff is so important. And I don't think people realize that. They don't understand. You have to hear. And guys, you know this. Right? You ever been on a date? Right? So you're going out on a date, and maybe some of you haven't, but but some of you have, and you go out on a date. And if you spend all night talking, you ain't winning that date. If you spend asking a question and listening, you win. We need more questions, more curiosity, less hate, which is hard. And the governor of today, Spencer Cox, he said, he's starting to blame social media. Social media didn't do this. It makes things worse like a fire, but it's only serving what you're asking for. Right? If you went on my TikTok right now, yeah, you'd find the Chinese. We get that. But beside that, I have been watching silly, funny animal videos of a thing called a hyrax, which is this little, and Belle and I have been laughing about it. It's this weird little animal that this guy has, and it is hilarious. But the minute you click on something else that is, it's like a genie. It's out of the bottle. So you click on it, and, it's going to feed you a little something else. Oh, you clicked on that. It's going to feed you something else. It's going to feed you more. These things are all just you know what, it's people kill people, right? Not guns. It's the same thing with this. If you use it in the right way, you're going to get the things you want. But if you're angry and pissed and you only want to see certain things that either affirm you, well, that stuff is going to make you angry. Because what affirms? It's like when I hear people talk all the time, why aren't they covering the story? Why do you care if they're covering the story? You know that you're following the story, so you must have heard it somewhere. And we were talking about the other day, Ken, the story of the young lady that was killed in North Carolina. There was no video, so it was just a story that was somebody got stabbed on a train. That was it. Then the video came out, and then everybody else wanted the story to be big and all of these things because we wanted to get a pity. Why isn't the New York Times saying anything? Why isn't the Washington Post saying anything? Why aren't these things happening? He was born in North Carolina. So, you know, why aren't they covering the story? Because it wasn't a story up until then, and they were covering it at the local level. You want them to cover it because you want it to be a story about something that you feel that the left should pay for, the right should pay for. Why aren't they talking more about what happened to those Minnesota Congress people that, you know, the state level that got shot? Why isn't the right talking about that? Why do they care about what you care about in your own lane? Focus on the things in your own lane. You don't care about the like the Washington Post or the New York. You want them to cover it, but you don't read it. You want them to cover it. You don't watch MSNBC. You wouldn't even hear. MSNBC wouldn't exist if it wasn't for influencers and for radio people. That's the only reason it exists. CNN's the same way. You're not watching that stuff because it would make you angry, but you want to hear those parts. Right? You're watching Fox or Newsmax, and if you're on the left, you're watching MSNBC, and you're probably the only one, but you're out there, and that's all you're doing. You want people to cover certain things based on your belief, and you want them to almost say, look, we're sorry this happened. It was your team was right this time. And we got to get back to having conversations in this country. You know, it's one of the reasons, you know, when I do the show, you know, several people have come up today and said, you know, I like listening to you because you have fun. Yeah, we do, because we talk about life. We talk about everything. You know, we talk about our families, and we talk about the craziness that goes on out there with, you know, just the absurdity of all kinds of things. We have White Woman Wednesday, and we do One Hit Wonder Wednesday. I've had several people come up here, mad at Bell mostly, that he picks the worst songs. But what was your song this week? I didn't get to hear. Because that's life. That is life. Life is all of those things. And we have too many people that are, you know, that are young and angry, who are sitting around stewing on stuff, looking for the worst thing, grabbing stuff out of context. And we have too many people on the other end of the spectrum who are watching television, looking to be angry already and grabbing things out of context. And it's frustrating.
Look at that, man. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina for 40 years.
There you go. That's Colorado. That's no. There you go.
7 years.
There we go. We got a guy here.
I got out of Colorado, and there I come to
Yeah.
Nashville. It's just as bad. You know what I'm saying?
So, but see, so having conversation is great, and he was having a conversation with me. We're on the radio. Doesn't understand that, but it's all good. I just, you know, I want us to get back to a place where we see each other. We don't have to agree at all. And that wouldn't be fun, by the way. If everybody agrees with everybody else, that's called a cult, right? And you know what happens with cults? People drink Kool-Aids, and then people neuter themselves so they can go eventually drink more Kool-Aid and fly with a comet. We need conversation. That's what we need. Speaking of comet, guys, have you guys seen the latest on that comet? It is closer every single day. It's now changed colors. And if you guys are not paying attention, for all this divide, you wonder what might change? Aliens. I think aliens show up. I think all bets are off. I think that's when we look and go, I think that's uncomfortable that happened. But so if you've not seen it is the Atlas. It's coming here. I think it was the A3 Atlas, and they can't figure out what it is. NASA's not sure. It is glowing. It has changed colors. It is moving, and it now has little things moving with it that are not. It's interesting. And I do think that would bring a whole new level of stuff to us if we saw that there were aliens. I wonder. Okay, let me ask you, and Bella, maybe you can chime in on this too. If you found out there was something else, what do you think would happen? What do you think the average person would do?
If I found out what now?
So let's say aliens were real, like they show up here,
Right.
the whole 9 years. What do you think the average person would do?
I don't think you're going to be able to pull an average out of that, to be honest. I think you're going to have as many reactions to that as you would personalities. I think there'll be a large degree of shock, but after the shock wears off, that's when you're going to see people's real feelings come out.
Because I do, it's always been that sense that, one of the reasons that we've hid as much is because religious people couldn't handle if there were aliens or this, that, and the other. I'm like, no, that's not true. I mean, for some, but they can't, some people just can't handle anything. It doesn't matter. So, but I do wonder what happens at that point when they say, hey, we don't want to tell you guys this, but we're going to have to now because we can't keep it from you guys because, how does the average person, what do they think? Because so many people, they don't believe, and then all of a sudden if it would hear, and some people, some people, they could be taken on a ship and taken somewhere else, and they still wouldn't believe it's happening. They still wouldn't believe it happened. But I just, I've been following this thing, and if you guys don't know what it is, so this Atlas thing is it's been coming for a while, and it is massive. And when you hear people that are talking about it, that this is what they do, astrophysicists, then they'll ask them, what do you think it is? And they're like, it's a comet, right? They're like, if you want it to be a comet, it could be a comet because they really can't explain it. It's got lights. Those lights have changed colors now. It is slowed down. It is sped up. It is moved in ways that comets don't do. They don't move that way. And it is also smooth. Comets aren't smooth. So we're going to find out. It's supposed to be here sooner rather than later, and some people are saying it's going to be here on Halloween. So that may be War of the Worlds-esque. So be prepared for that. Absolutely. A lot of stuff still to come. We got some of your text messages as well. You can reach out to us across all the social media. You can hit me up at Chad Benson Show. We got the text line. Bell, what's the text number, please?
615-737-9986.
There you go. So reach out to us, talk to us. Love hearing you. We're down here. It's Dirt Days. We're out here on Laverne and here at Bobcat. So come on out. Food, great discounts, chance to win a walk-behind mower as well. We look forward to seeing you out here. We're going to be here till 3 o'clock. It is Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. Okay. Relief Factor. I'm telling you guys, I'm working out more. I'm doing a lot of stuff, and those muscles, they hurt. You get older. You understand that. And the thing about Relief Factor, it's non-addictive. It is just, you take these every day and you go and you work out, and it is incredible. Part of being fit is being able to overcome those injuries, especially when it comes to your muscles. And that's what this is all about with Relief Factor. It's great for general muscle aches, pains, joints, you name it. It's going to help you. It's going to help with your inflammation, and it's going to get you out there working hard, moving more, and feeling better on a daily basis. Formulated to be safe, non-addictive, ideal for regular use. Now, check this out. My wife, she takes it. I take it. You will love this. So if you notice you work out a lot or you're moving a lot and you're a little sore, you got the sore with your ankles, sore with your knee, try this and watch what happens. You're going to feel 1,000 times better. Less than a cup of coffee a day right now for a 3-week jump start. You can experience the difference. This is what I want you to do. Go to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com, or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800, the number 4, RELIEF for relieffactor.com.
Hey, it's Joan, and I'm at Bobcat Dirt Days. I'm out here in Columbia, in Maury County, and having a great time out here. And I know that Chad wanted to do this, but I did it already. I made sure that I hid my driving record from the folks here at Bobcat, and I drove a skid steer, which was a lot of fun. They just let me, they actually brought out a brand new skid steer and let me drive it, giving me like the instructions, and it was beautiful and easy to handle. Love that thing. So the message is that, hey, if you want to come out and drive a skid steer too, or a tractor, or any of the pieces of equipment here at the Bobcat in Murray County, you can do it too. You just walk up and ask the manager, Tyler, if you can drive one. A lot of fun. There's a lot of giveaways going on here today, and there's also specials. So there's a 10% off on Bobcat parts. If you've already got a Bobcat, you can get 10% off on parts today. Also, 25% off on first-time rentals, and that's through the end of this month. So if you're interested in those kinds of things and they're really fun to drive, please do come on out. I'll be here until 2 o'clock this afternoon. We're at the Pulaski Highway location and would love to have you come out and join us here. We've had a whole bunch of our morning show listeners come out already. We've had Steve, and we have Ron is sitting here with us having a burger right now. And Dan, he's been here too. So a lot of fun. Come out and join us today here until 2 o'clock. Joan Jones for WTN.
All right, the very latest on the arrest of Tyler Robinson, the man FBI says killed Charlie Kirk. Also near Chicago, reports say an ICE agent was dragged by a vehicle and had to shoot the person driving it. That's coming up at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I am hot. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that, Bill. So we're out here. Dirt Days, baby. Dirt Days are going on. Come on out here. Chance to win a mower, which is awesome. We're going to be here. We're in Laverne. We're going to be here till 3 o'clock today. They've got lots of food. They've got events. I'm going to try to learn how to drive one of these things. I got Brooks over there who's going to teach me. Everybody's laughing, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that I can't do it, but I'm going to try. See? Sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone. There's a beauty of it. Stepping out of your comfort zone. A lot of you texting in about the media and, you know, why you think it's important that the other media outlets cover stuff. Know this. All media outlets have agendas now. Nobody's hiding anything. They're not. They're not going to cover stuff the same way because they've decided this is the audience I'm serving. These are my customers. And it may piss you off. It may piss you off, and I understand that. But everybody's got their agendas now. This is what we have in the media. Because that's what it is. The establishment media, whatever you want to call it, they're liberal. 90% of those rooms are liberal. So you think about it, you get 100 people in there. Probably in a place like the Post or New York Times, it's probably 99%. So they're going to cover the things that they want to cover, the way that they want to cover it. And it sucks that that's the fragmented world we have, but this is what we have. Fox is going to cover things a much different way than the New York Times is going to cover it, than CNN, than the likes of MSNBC are going to cover things, or MS Now, whatever the hell it's called. They're all going to cover things to fit an audience that they're serving. It's their customers, right? You want a pizza and they give you a hot dog. You didn't get what you wanted. You're going to go somewhere else. Coming up, hour number 2 of the program. If you're missing the show, we always say shame on you. Make sure you grab the podcast. Ken's got the latest on everything. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash just popped up on my screen here. Going to be Dickerson Pike at Belshire Drive in Belshire.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. 2 days after a gunman fired off one shot, hitting and killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk at a speaking event at Utah Valley University, Utah's Governor Spencer Cox today says they have a suspect in custody, identified as Tyler Robinson. The governor credited the 22-year-old's family for reaching out to law enforcement. Cox also says authorities analyzed spent and unspent cartridges from a rifle found in the woods near campus.
Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark. Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point."
FBI Director Kash Patel says there was an overwhelming public response with over 11,000 leads. Patel says there's no indication so far anyone beyond Robinson was involved in the killing. A motive is still unknown. This is ABC News.
Right now, near Chicago, reports say that an ICE agent shot a person in Franklin Park after being dragged by a vehicle this morning. Law enforcement sources telling NBC Chicago ICE agents were trying to pull over a vehicle, and when the driver sped off, the agent was dragged by the car. The agent then fired their weapon, happening just days after the Trump administration announced an immigration enforcement campaign in Chicago called Operation Midway Blitz. And tensions flared between protesters and federal agents, but no arrests were made.
I believe that Jesus essentially said to love all people, unconditional love. And so I know there's a better way.
Well, some Chicago residents, like Sean Campbell, who was a counter-protester, said he supports ICE's efforts.
I think a country a country without borders is not a country. So I would say I stand by law and order.
Chicago City Alderman Anthony Napolitano agrees. He supports increased ICE enforcement to help control crime and manage city resources in Chicago because he says money is being allocated that could go to other purposes. And the rise of artificial intelligence tools forcing schools to reconsider what counts as cheating.
High school and college educators say that student use of AI has become so widespread that they need to rethink how to assign and assess students. Many teachers tell the Associated Press that they have shifted all writing to the classroom. Some are returning to pen and paper exams to avoid cheating. Educators say AI is creating new confusion over what constitutes cheating. Students say they often turn to AI with good intentions for things like brainstorming or editing help, but sometimes it's hard to know where to draw the line.
That's Chuck Severson reporting in the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, it's Joan, and I am out today, traded in my news copy to come on out and play in some dirt today. We are at Bobcat Dirt Days, and I'm out in Columbia at the location on Pulaski Highway. Little history, this has only been here for about 3 years, this location, but it's really, really busy. Lots of folks in and out today, and we'd love to see you out here, too. You don't want to miss lunch because it's coming to a close, and they're running out of hot dogs and burgers because there have been a lot of people in and out of the store today, and a lot of WTN listeners, which is really cool to see. And there's programs going on here today that you don't want to miss, including, we've been talking about this, the big lawnmower giveaway. So make sure when you do come out to this location here in Columbia, you're going to want to bring your cell phone because you've got to scan the QR code to make sure that you are eligible to log in there and win these lawnmowers. You've also got some other programs that are happening, 10% off on all in-stock Bobcat parts for your machine if you already own one. Also, if you're looking to buy, there's some sales programs from 0% financing to even having major rebates on loaders and mini excavators. And if you want to drive one of those guys, come on out because I drove a skid steer this morning and it was one cool experience. So hopefully have you come out and join us today. Joan, I'm out here until 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Columbia location on Pulaski Highway, and I hope to see you here today.
Broadcasting live out here, Laverne, Bobcat Dirt Days. They got shirts, they got everything. We're going to be out here for a while. They got a big barbecue. There were guys over there. Ken, did you see them do any of the stuff? They're doing stuff, man. They're lifting stuff. They're moving stuff. They're having an actual competition. I wasn't there long enough. I'm excited. So this is we got so much to talk about today. And, you know, before we went to break, we were having that conversation about the media. And somebody said, well, no, they should be covering it. Media should cover everything. And I said, no, this is, this is the way the world works. People have decided we want no information that goes against our beliefs. And But they want affirmation. And, if you want to find something that is going to affirm your belief, the media is going to give you everything you need, and that includes social media. You can go online today, and if you want to find 1,000 people that say horrible things about Charlie Kirk, you're going to find it. Or if you want to find 1,000 things that are going to make sure that everybody knows that he was is martyred, you're going to find that. And it's just, they're not journalists like they used to be. And part of that is our problem. Our problem is we don't want them to be journalists anymore. We want opinion. That's what we want. So you watch these shows, they've tried to be journalists. It doesn't sell. When there's so much out there, you have to find an audience, build it, keep it niche. You'd love to see it huge. And then what happens? You just keep feeding it because that's how you earn a living. I have friends who are journalists. They're actually real journalists, and they realize we're not going to make any money. And they're getting paid based on clicks, likes, shares. So you're not just going to put the who, what, when, how, and why. Nobody wants that anymore. Nobody does. They want the story, and they want your opinion on the story. And that right there is absolutely infuriating. You could watch Walter Cronkite back in the day. He was a lefty. He was there to deliver the news. But it started to change, especially when you started to see cable news really become something. And, cable news is one of those things where if something big breaks, even now, a lot of people just go to CNN because the one thing they're good at is the big breaking news where there's no politics, right? If there's a horrible accident or if there's massive flooding or tsunami or earthquake in some faraway land that's killed thousands, and you go there, you cover. That's what they're good at. That's it. This is not new, though, the propaganda. The difference is everybody's got a place that they can go combat it. And I want to just know the truth. And Ken and I have talked about this 1,000 times, just trying to find a story and then going, all right, where's the other part of this story? Where do I have to go to get the other half of the score? Okay, I got to go over here, but that only gives me a portion of it because you're leaving out something. Now I got to go over here and find this one. Then I have to puzzle piece it together. It is easy to, I say this all the time, it's easy to wake up if I just wanted to do a show and just say the most absurd things, get people riled up. But I don't want to do that. I just want to give you the straight up truth, and that is important. It used to be the most important thing, is the truth. And then somewhere, 10, 15 years ago, it became the objective truth. And then it became my truth. And both sides have my truth. Both sides do. And, people always ask me, like I was just looking at the chat on YouTube, they're like, what party is he in? I'm in the ask me a question. I don't vote just straight down the line. Because there are people out there that, I wouldn't even, there's some people out there, there's racists, I wouldn't even vote for either side. Because
that just means you're a libtard.
Probably. That's what they're going to say. That's fine. Feel free to call me that. But I want to know the absolute truth. I want to know who, you guys yesterday, how much you guys can't stand Afton and all this, that, and the other and stuff. You know what she is? Sweet lady. She's nice. She's funny. She's genuine. You don't have to like her. Jody Baird and I have talked about this. He and Scott Zabicki, by the way, she goes, he's the most helpful person. So many people out there want you to hate something because they want to be, justified that you can have a disdain for. No, I don't want that. I don't. I want to be able to have conversations because otherwise you get stuff like what happened the other day. You had an angry, vengeful kid who probably doesn't know his ass from the hole in the wall, who thinks he's known everything because he's been on Blue Sky, right, hanging out in Blue and On, and with his friends in a small group who were preaching crazy stuff without actually talking to somebody that they disagree with. And he let his emotions get to the point where he committed an evil act. An evil act. And you're thinking, for what? You've ruined your life, your family's life for the foreseeable future. You've destroyed a man who was a father, a man of faith, a husband. And because you were mad at him because you don't like the fact that he didn't like trans as far, not as people. He didn't say he didn't like them as human beings, and he didn't love them. He didn't think it was right. He think there were issues there. Okay, that's an opinion. That's an opinion. But you sought out nothing more, and you became absolutely hateful, and you let it stew. And then what do? You go and you're on social media all day, and you're feeding that thing. And as we call it, it's a genie. And you ask it the same questions, and it delivers you the same answers over and over again. And then people come on and go, oh, social media is evil. No. It was meant to be addictive. But the fact that we've become bad, that's on us. It's like on us with the news. On us with the news. Because why? Well, one affirmation. One affirmation. So somebody, 8512 says, you are so wrong, okay? I don't want one fraction of 1 ounce of any reporter's freaking opinion. I want the news, which is the facts. Okay, well, you're not getting that. Because you know why? When there was only that, nobody watched it. Because we decided also 15, 20 years ago, we wanted reality TV. And it wasn't just about watching little people build a house or a treasure bay or we wanted to watch people do crazy stuff. We can't even watch women from a place go in and have dinner. We want to watch them rip each other's wigs off and throw food around and scream and yell at each other because that's the only – we're at the point now where we need an adrenaline rush even to watch television. Yesterday, Ken and I were mentioning there used to be a couple stations, television stations. I know there was one in San Diego. All they wanted to do was good news. That was it. That's all they wanted to do. So they were a television station that did just good news. They reported on the news, but for the most part, all they did was good news. They went out of business. They did. They weren't lying. It was just straight news, and it was good news. What does that say? You know, why is Yelp at all successful? Because it's a place for us to go, have an opinion, make it strong, bitch about something. That's it. We want to be affirmed or we want to be angry. We should want to laugh. We should. You know, and it's, you know, the interesting thing, I was talking to several of you yesterday who were texting at us and everything, and I kept saying, do you have a friend that's on the different side of the aisle? And some of you do, but many of you are like, hell no, I would never talk to them. They're evil. No, they have a differing opinion. They're not evil. That guy, the one that because I don't want to mention his name, the shooter, because, you know, that's the other thing that I think we need to have a conversation about, and we'll do that in a little bit about, I think there is a certain amount of celebrity that people are seeking in today's world where they feel they're the ones being martyred because they're sacrificing something for everybody else. But he did an evil act. There are people out there that are evil. They do evil things. Some of them in the name of politics, some in the name of religion, some in the name of just being bad dudes. And some bad ladies. I don't want to leave you guys out, ladies, because you guys can be bad too. But we need to do better, and we need to listen more. And it needs to happen. And, you know, yesterday, I was telling you guys last hour, so my wife sends me a text. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I can't anymore, like, watch your live feed on the YouTube. I said, why? She goes, the horrible things that people are saying about you. And I'm like, you know, Chris and I were talking about this earlier. And that's why I tell my kids, don't read any of the stuff. You know, don't look at any of the stuff. Because people say things. And 99.99% of them are just blowing off steam. And they're angry. And stuff can get lost in translation. And what do you call them, Bell? Van Gogh listeners?
That's what Phil used to call them, Van Gogh listeners.
Yeah. So, I do this every once in a while, a segment I call What I Said, What You Heard. I'll say something, you hear something different. And that's the same way when it comes to, even in today's world of people having hurt feelings. Well, I said something. Yeah, but it offended me. Well, it wasn't meant that way, but I heard it that way. Oh, look, the police are here, and they got food. Right on. So we're out here at Bobcat Dirt Days. We're going to be here till 3. I didn't know the police were coming, and they got snacks, so there's that. So come on down here.
Let them know I'm not out there.
They were looking for you, but then they said, you know what? We were coming to get Bell, but Bell's not here, so we'll have a hot dog. And is Ken there? Because I can't see him. He's not there. He's not listening to me. I wonder if he got to eat. Probably not. But so I love hearing from you guys, though. But my wife, yesterday, the stuff that was being said was crazy. And, like you said, Belle, the libtards, even you were, so frustrated with some people. And I just sit there and I laugh because if you need to blow off steam, that's the thing. I would never stop you. I tell my kids this. I would never stop a person saying horrible things about me. I mean, you threaten to do something. That's a different story. But that's the beauty of free speech. And even with, all these people are getting angry about what these professors said and what these people have been saying about Charlie Kirk and stuff. And why aren't you angry about that? Why aren't you? Because Charlie's whole thing was having conversations, free speech.
So much of it is just people wanting to hear you say what they want to hear.
That's it. Yeah, it's the affirmation thing. You need to say what I think is right, and you need to back me up in that. No, that's why I tell everybody out there, and some of you never will. Challenge your beliefs. Challenge your beliefs. And by the way, it doesn't mean that it's in anything. What were we laughing about yesterday, Belle, that people were liking and said, oh, it's sad. Somebody posted a picture. This is how much people pay no attention. It's probably sometimes it's a bot, but sometimes it's a real thing. It was a picture of, was it John Lithgow? And it said, rest in peace, Kelsey
Yes,
Grammer.
it was John Lithgow.
And people are saying, oh, we'll miss him. I loved him. And you're like, first of all, it's not even him. Secondly, neither of them are dead. But people are mindless sometimes. It's crazy. We're going to be out here. We're going to talk to one of the people. We're going to see what else is on sale out here. There's a ton of stuff. It's Dirt Days. I've had my second hot dog, which makes me – it's weird with hot dogs, isn't it? Like normally I wouldn't have 12 of these. You go to a restaurant, you don't get 8 hot dogs.
Normally I only have 6.
Yeah, but at a barbecue, you'll have 40 hot dogs. Is it a hot dog? I'll have 7 of those. It's so bizarre. So we're going to be out here until 3 o'clock. They got tons of stuff, prizes to win. They're out there right now. They're trying. I see somebody drive around the cones. Some of these people out here are also new at this, apparently. But you're supposed to come down here if you have your best guy to drive one of these Bobcats. They're putting them to the test out here. We're going to see because I've been told they're going to train me on one, so this will be fun. But come on out here. Jones out and about 2. We'd love to see you. They've got a chance for you to win the walk-behind mower. It's a no-turn mower. I'm not quite sure how to I'm probably screwing that up. It's the WB 7000. Come on down here. Register for that. Look forward to seeing you out here. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. WebRoot is awesome. You need to protect yourself when you're online. Let me tell you how bad it is and what a nightmare. So currently there was a breach, 4 million people's identity stolen, TransUnion. What a nightmare. I just finished this morning my Equifax. It took me forever and a day to go through this, all of this stuff, because they lost all of our data. It went out there. I was on 9 different dark websites. And this is pre-WebRoot. And I got $37.18 for my nightmare, and it took, 6 months. Don't let that happen to you. WebRoot is ready to help you. Simple and easy to upload. Real-time protection against malware, ransomware, phishing, and more. Built-in firewall and network monitoring. And here's the big thing. Protecting yourself from predators. $10 trillion will be stolen this year because of hackers. This includes protection for your children, students, seniors, dependents, up to $1 million in theft-related reimbursement, and credit and financial monitoring, along with VPN and so many other things. You're going to save 50% right now. They've got 2 different things, WebRoot Total Protection and WebRoot Essentials. go to webroot.com/Chad. WEBROOT.com/Chad for Webroot. Webroot.com/Chad. Live a better digital life with Webroot.
Weather can change in an instant, and you need to be prepared for any outcome. That's why Generator Supercenter of Nashville will help keep your family safe and connected. We make buying a backup generator simple and easy, with financing options available, free in-home estimate, turnkey installations, no worry warranty, and most importantly, the monitoring and service of your fully installed generator. Come see us at our location in Nashville or visit us online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
All right, guys. You want to lose those inches? They're stubborn. They're not going anywhere. They're going to with Contours. Right now, Contours is doing something amazing. First of all, they got the belly buster. You go in there, you're guaranteed on your first treatment to lose 2 inches off your chest and off your stomach, off your belly. Get in there. And you don't do anything. You sit back, you relax. It melts away. Non-invasive, incredible. Second thing is, when you get a belly buster package, you're going to get, either for yourself or to gift to somebody, $1,500 facial. It's an FDA medical. This is not one of those. This is a real thing. This is $1,500 worth free when you buy the belly buster package. So this is what I want you to do. Call Contours. Get rid of those handles. It's time for you to do that. You want to start looking good? Maybe you got a big, who knows what's coming up. Holidays. You want to look pretty. You want to look fit in that suit. They're going to help you with that. Call Contours, 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960, or visit ContoursLLC.com to schedule. What do you got to lose but pounds and inches?
We'll get you an update on the suspect arrested in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Also, right now, outside of Chicago, massive crime scene where an ICE agent has been severely injured and a suspect fatally shot. These stories and more at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Ooh, an ICE agent fatally shot. That's crazy. That is, there was a protest.
No, he said the agent was injured and the suspect shot.
Whoa. And there was a drag, right? He dragged him? Is that what happened? I'm not quite sure because I've seen, like the internet, see 50 things. Like even today when this guy, they announced that they had the suspect, that this one was the real suspect, automatically online. 20 different pictures, 50 different people, 100 different names, right? Sometimes some people had different names on the same picture. And then QAnon, they had figured it out because it was this trans person who was, and wasn't even close, right? Like, oh, and it was, the internet is both wonderful and frustrating. Frustrating indeed. 5222. Challenge your beliefs. How about standing firm in your beliefs and willing to amend them? Absolutely. 100%. That's the beauty of when you challenge your beliefs and you have a debate with somebody and you have a conversation with somebody and they present you with something that because you've gone to these places to get the news, to read whatever you're reading, you are getting a portion of something and then you're presented with something else that juxtaposes that. You've got to be big enough to go, oh, I wasn't right in that one.
Don't be a lemming.
Don't be a lemming. Be Lemmy, but not lemmings. And you have to be willing to do that. And not a lot of people are because of the identity. Because everybody takes it personal. You can't take these things personal when you're having a conversation. And knowing that, as I say this all the time, the older I get, the less I know. because you start to realize there's so much out there. And also, everybody's got an agenda. Everybody's got an agenda. So they're telling you and presenting you with something, and you have to be willing to go, that's interesting. I don't know if that's totally true, but it's interesting. And yeah, so being able to amend your thought on something is great if you're presented with the right stuff. And sometimes we all get it wrong because we get a portion of the data, a portion of the facts, and you can only go, especially in a fast-moving news scene situation, you can only do so much. But you've got to be willing to go, oh, well, I wasn't right on that one. I wasn't. And yes, and so that's that's a huge thing. And most people in today's world, they don't want to say, I got it wrong. They won't. They won't. And you've got to be big enough to do that. And most people, and we don't hold people accountable, no matter what the news is, right? How many times have you guys been out there on social media and people have started spreading all kinds of things and they get it wrong and nobody cares? And they go back to them over and over again, and out of 10 stories, they get 6 of them wrong. But people still follow them because in between all of those things that they push, they won't amend anything. They'll never say sorry. They just move on as if it didn't happen. What are you going to do at that point? You know, it's frustrating. It is frustrating. Let's see here. What else? We got a lot of people texting in. The greatest question I ever learned, and this is from 9009, for both myself and those close to me. If you're wrong, do you want to know? That's big time. No, some people enjoy it. Some people want to bury their head in the sand. They don't care. Because in their mind, it's just easy to say, I'm right, and never be challenged. And never be challenged. And it's you know, even here, it's like people, like we've gone back and forth with a lot of people here. Like Chris and I have already got, you and Chris, you guys got spice here. Like Chris and I, about Antifa. They should be a terrorist organization. I think they should be hit with a criminal organization. Can you do a lot more with the RICO in a much faster way? But I also think, I look at the Department of Justice and no, do I trust everything they do? You guys have to be honest. She's not been great. She's not been great. She's not. And no, so there's a portion that I don't. Even here with this whole thing with the Kash Patel didn't handle, it felt like this thing very well. This guy was kind of wandering around. How long did it take to catch him? They took 2 people into custody, so no. So, but I think go after him a criminal. Go after him from the money. Go after him. That's where you take that kind of power away in doing the RICO thing. Because when you start classifying everything as a terrorist organization, that gets tricky, it gets ugly, and then you start impeding on people's civil liberties, and then you find out, and we had that when we were when I was in Phoenix. They said anybody who was on the streets in any of these protests, we're going to classify them as gang members. Then everything got thrown out of court. Civil liberties, then lawsuits. Measure twice, cut once. That's the smart thing. Coming up, a lot of stuff. We're out here. Bobcat, Laverne, snacks, good things going on. Would like you guys to come on out here. Chance to win a walk-behind mower. They got cookies, ice cream, all kinds of things. We're going to be out here till 3 o'clock. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Right now, we've still got that crash Dickerson Pike at Belshire Drive. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. The suspect caught in Wednesday's murder of Charlie Kirk. Here's Jim Ryan.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox has become the public face of the search for a suspect. Today,
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
He's identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who lives nearly 300 miles from the scene of the shooting.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years.
Cox says some of the unspent bullets had been engraved, including one that read, "Hey, fascist, catch." Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Right now, outside of Chicago, a suspect has been fatally shot. An ICE agent severely injured during an enforcement operation. Channel 5 reporter Regina Waldrop there in Franklin Park.
Here's what multiple law enforcement agencies are telling us. They were about to pull someone over when the person took off and an agent was then dragged. We don't know what agency the agent worked for, but the car has a lot of front end damage.
And a high school in the area on secure status. President Trump this morning on Fox News announcing he is sending the National Guard into Memphis to curtail crime. Channel 4's Holly Thompson on reaction.
Tennessee U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn is backing the president's plans to send the National Guard there. Blackburn said the president answered her call to, quote, make Memphis safe again. She said she's worked closely with the Trump administration to bring additional resources to Memphis. The president's announcement is getting some pushback from state Democrats. Senator London Lamar from Memphis called the move a Band-Aid and not a long-term solution for public safety. In a statement, she said, quote, when the troops leave, crime issues will come right back because Trump is choosing cheap political theater over the hard work of strengthening a community. Senator Lamar says crime is down and calls on the president to restore police and crime prevention funding.
Now, according to USA Today analysis, Memphis had the highest murder rate of any U.S. city with a population over 500,000 in 2024. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
All right, guys. Let's talk about my friends over at Beacon Capital. They've got opportunities for you that you probably don't even know about because of one big, beautiful bill. Really big. Really big. Great way to take advantage of tax. Not loopholes. Things that are put in there to protect you and get you money back. Like $10,000 off in car loan interest, you can deduct. What? But only for vehicles assembled here in the U.S. There's a lot of things you have. That's why you need somebody like Beacon. On top of that, they've got things like above-line charitable deduction. So, you know, maybe you're not one of those people that goes itemized. You want it simple and easy. They can help you with that. In this one, you're 65-year-old. Are you ready to have some money back, deduction-wise? $6,000 right now. But it's a phase-out. So this is your Social Security. It's not an elimination taxes, but it's a great thing to take advantage of while you can because, again, it's powerful but limited. Beacon Capital can help you with that. This is what I want you to call them. Free, personalized financial consultation. Visit beaconcm.com, beaconcm.com, or call 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303. This is a paid placement.
Hey, it's Joan, and I am still out this afternoon on this gorgeous day at the Bobcat of Murray County. It's in Columbia. It's right along Pulaski Highway, and I have been out here welcoming all kinds of our WTN listeners today. Bunch of people showed up, and it was so nice to see everybody. But probably one of the most famous WTN listeners is here with me right now. State Representative Scott Cepicky is out here, and I know that you're out here because you heard there were some burgers.
Well, no, I heard there was Joan.
Ah,
I came from my Joan fix this afternoon, but it's been a long week. It's been a long week. A long week. A lot of tragic news. I'm glad what happened with the Charlie Kirk assassination of finding that individual. And hopefully wrapping that up very quickly, and then letting law enforcement do what they're going to do, and the judicial system. And then the good news that Governor Lee and the President have worked out a compromise that we're going to go into Memphis to start to clean up Memphis.
Isn't that the greatest news?
It is.
So we have even more good news for you. There's still some hot dogs and hamburgers left, and we still have an offer for you to be able to win a walk-behind powered professional-grade lawnmower. And all you have to do is go ahead and scan your phone, and you can also be, part of that giveaway. So, yeah, okay. So we're going to keep going here, and we're going to feed our state representative, and we're going to give him a chance to win this lawnmower. But, you have a chance to win it, too. All you have to do is get out here within the next half hour. Joan Jones, and I'm at the Bobcat of Murray County right here in Columbia on Pulaski Highway. Can't wait to see you here.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Memphis. But like anything, you got to solve the problem. And the problem is you can go there and you can cut down crime and you could scare crime underground. But what do we do outside of that? Those are, and it's a bigger issue than just let's put some people over here and we'll stop crime. Because that only lasts because you're not keeping them there forever. You're not. And I wish both sides would look and go, okay, well, how do we fix this? What's the solution to this problem? And we've talked about no fathers in the home. Big solution. Let's be honest. Inner city. No fathers in the home. And if you don't think that's a big deal, the stats bear it out. Regardless of color, you have a man and woman in the home, father and mother, chances of them going to jail, growing up, and things going sideways, virtually nil. If you have a woman in the home, exponentially, and it's only her, single mom. If you have a man only raising a child, it is the same level as the married couple. That's the importance of men. And we've discounted ourselves. We've made it too easy to walk away, to be fathers on the weekend, every other weekend. We've resigned ourselves, and we're trying to do stuff here in the state that is going to take that away, and we're seeing that in other states. I got an article the other day. I don't know where else because they've done it in several states. But the way they put it out was, sharing with dad 50-50 makes some women not want to get a divorce, which puts them and the children in harm's way. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because everybody who's getting divorced are only getting divorced because the men are evil? That is the dumbest thing, but that's the way they presented it. And that's, but there's a perfect example, though, of getting out there and saying, okay, what do we need to do to solve the problem? But they're not interested in that. Right? And the whole debate about single moms, that thing went sideways when Murphy Brown was on. Do you guys remember Murphy Brown? So when Murphy Brown was on, Dan Quayle said something about, don't make her an idol. She's a single mom. And then, of course, the whole thing with Candace Bergen, it blew up and it became so ridiculous. And they were like, well, I'm a single mom and I can have it all kind of thing. You can have it all? You can have it all? First of all, it's not real. Let's all go back to the fact that it's not real. Secondly, if it was real, you're a major anchor at a news station back in the day in like Washington, D.C. So if you guys didn't know, the big markets around the country, like New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., those news anchors back in the 80s and 90s, even some in the early 2000s, they were making $3, $4, $5 million a year, some of them, being news anchors. So think about that for a second. So first of all, it wasn't real. Secondly, if it was, she's probably making $1 million or $2 million a year. You can afford things in a much different way. Money is a big deal. But we have to address this. And the Memphis thing is, because, the Democrats like, no.
And this is, Afton and I touched on this a little bit later, yesterday off the air. So much of what all politics is, regardless of side, is all about the show. Right? Trump has taught people that. The show is a big deal, branding stuff. And that was happening for him, but it's really become much bigger. But when you go in and if you're serious about doing stuff, the problem is starting something and pushing it, that's hard. It's like those kids that go, we're going to take the statues down and we're going to fix racism. No, you took a statue down. You didn't fix anything. Right? If somebody was hateful, you thought this person over here is racist, and you took the statue down, it wasn't like the thing had some sort of mind control over, that's why you took the statue down. I'm totally not that way. No. You wanted yourself to feel good like you've done something. You didn't address any of the issues. And we're going to go in and they're going to knock crime down in Memphis. But of the National Guard, are they going to be there forever? Probably not. And then what happens? And you know what? And everybody's like, well, at least these people will get to see that crime is bad. Trust me. You live in a crappy area. Most of the people that live in these areas, they're not into crime. They don't want this. They recognize there are places out there all over that don't have crime. They don't want it either. But we, I know Governor Lee and them, they've got some stuff brewing, and we'll see what it looks like. And I'm glad that Trump's doing this because, we talked about the other day that the crime rate is way bigger than in Chicago. Way bigger than in Chicago, in Memphis. It's way bigger, especially the violent crime rate. And then you've got to look at St. Louis, which is the same. St. Louis has been that way since I was a kid. I mean, you could watch the movie Vacation. Yep, since the 80s. So Vacation, if you guys ever watched the movie Vacation with Chevy Chase, and they get lost in St. Louis, and they go to East St. Louis, and he asked, do you know where the freeway is? And they're like, thank you, mama. And he's like, and then there's a shot, roll them up, and then their car gets just totally vandalized. They take everything off it. That's a joke about East St. Louis that has been there forever. Democrats are still running that place. They are. But to fix the things that need to be fixed, like anything else, is we all, in a day and age when I read this the other day, the average attention span for us in today's world is 8 seconds. We want instantaneous. I mean, some of you listening right now, you guys have TikTok maybe, or you have Reels, or you have YouTube. 90% of the people that go on Facebook now only look at the videos. And if the video is 90 seconds and the punchline's at 90 seconds and you want to know what it is, you're going to scroll through that thing because you don't even want to sit there for 90 seconds and listen to somebody yamble. You said there was an alien. I want to see it. I don't want to hear you talk about what's going on outside. We have no patience. And it's the same thing with trying to get something done. The reason that we have politicians that, they only live for the moment because they're forced to. They are, because if you were going to be honest and you came out there and you said, all right, I'm going to fix this. This is what we're going to do. People want immediate results. I mean, you go to the gym once and then you're like, I can't believe I'm not buff. I'm not swole. No, it takes time. And the same thing. I mean, I love that Trump's going in there in some of these places, especially if he's being asked, which I think is most important. But he wants to take on crime. That's great. But what do we do to fix the real issue so eventually you never have to do this again? Because if you leave and crime goes through the roof again, what has happened? Was it just a show? Well, yeah, for a lot of this is just a show. And I think we would all love to see it. And the reason that the left pushes back, because they don't want to be embarrassed over the fact that they've allowed this to happen on their watch, because some of them think it's kind that they don't pay any attention to crime because, well, these people they're hungry, Bell. That's why he stole the TV. Well, he kept the TV. He didn't sell it for food. And why do you guys always rob, a Nike store and never a grocery store? They can't explain it because they want to make excuses. No, the excuse is we wanted men out of the homes.
right? You go back all the way to when it was, no men in the homes. If you want to get on welfare, if you want to get this, if you want to get that, you can't have a man around. And then men said, well, if I don't have to be here, then you know what? And somewhere along the line, it's just translated that, and then the court system became so twisted where good luck with trying to get your kid if you're a guy. Because they look at guys as if, well, he's a guy. You never know what might happen. He'll forget the kid somewhere, won't pick him up, doesn't know how to read, right, sir? And men just didn't fight the way they should have because they knew it was an uphill battle. I mean, I've been there. I've been there big time. So there's a lot that goes into fixing this, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays itself out. Like with Chicago, like the whole thing with Pritzker, and that let's be real, that's a pissing contest between Trump and Pritzker. That's what that is. Two men who are fighting each other. Pritzker knows that Chicago in certain areas is a mess. You know how I know? Because they've dominated that city forever. The Pritzker family is one of the wealthiest families on the planet. They've dominated Illinois for years. They know where the bad area is, and they're fine with it. They've left it that way, just like every Chicago mayor has. If people are serious, they'll do it. But unfortunately, in a time when we're so divided, if a mayor was to call the president and the governor and say, look, we've got issues here, and to get some of these things fixed, we're going to need your help. Well, how dare you be seen with the other side? No, that's an American. That's a president. That's a governor. This isn't about the other side. This is about the people. That's what it should be about. In many cases, it's not, because it's, Trump is evil. Trump is bad. Trump's the greatest. He's a human being, and I think he wants to do some good stuff. I do. But I will tell you, I don't want show. I think most of you don't want that either. Want to see fix, but fix takes time, and we are very fickle, and we have no patience. I don't have patience. I did a sit-up the other day, and I'm like, why don't I look like David Beckham? Because I don't. We want stuff now. We want it simple. We want it easy. A lot of stuff still to get to. We're out here. It is Dirt Days, so still some food available. Bobcat out here, Laverne, and I'm eating some hot dogs. I've got I think it's some sort of brownie chocolate chip contraption I'm about ready to eat.
They got mayonnaise for those hot dogs?
I'm going to say yes, sir. Mayonnaise, the greatest of all thing in the history of mankind.
Wait a minute, why wasn't somebody making that part of the prep? We shouldn't be doing the show if there's no mayonnaise on site.
Well, there's got to be mayonnaise, man. Mayonnaise is, if you guys don't know, that's the official condiment of the Chad Benson Show is mayonnaise. And everybody comes. Yeah, everybody who comes gets mayonnaise, right? Because it's the most important thing. Mayonnaise, the most important breakfast of the day. There's no doubt about that. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Yes, it does. Birch gold. Let me tell you something about birch gold. Right now, gold, super important. Instability, and there's some instability in the market. Some stuff's really inflated. I think some people are waiting for the bubble to burst. You've got the numbers. What are they going to do with we're going to bring some of these numbers down when it comes to the interest rates. And then, of course, you got global issues going on. And gold moves into many different ways, including global issues. So the smart thing to do is to go, okay, what can I do to hedge myself in the event that something happens? Birch is going to help you with that. If you're a first-time gold buyer, by the end of the month, if you purchase, they're offering you a rebate of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases, okay? So, but first you need to find out what's it all about. You got to get the info. So text the word Benson to 989898 now. Birch is going to help you. They're going to show you some of the things they can do from the physical to IRAs and 401ks, how they can roll them over. It is great. And take advantage of that. All right, you take advantage of the rebate of the $10,000, but you got to buy by the end of this month. Text my name, Benson, to 989898 to claim your eligibility and get the free info kit. That's the word Benson. Text it to 989898 for Birch Gold.
Utah authorities have arrested who they say killed Charlie Kirk. And we've had an incident in Chicago. Looks like an ICE agent is severely injured. A suspect fatally shot. Details on all this and more, too, on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Tell you what, a lot of stuff happening. It's chaos out there, no doubt about that. Charlie Kirk, of course, you guys have probably been listening all day. They got him, is what they said. The reality is Dad got him, and some of his friends, they started cooperating because they realized this guy had done something. And Ken and I were talking about it, how hard it must be to know that your son did that your son made a choice to do that.
Well,
somebody you raised.
And at first he was pushing back on Dad.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't going to go. And that's whenever somehow Dad was able, or somebody was able to contact the U.S. Marshals, and then Dad delayed son until the U.S. Marshals got there.
That is, I mean, think about that, though. I mean, he confronted Pops because they had all the text message or the Discord. His buddy's like, I think he did this. I mean, he's talking about where he hid the gun.
Yeah.
It was a planned thing. This wasn't, he was talking about all of the stuff, where he was going to do these things. And they alerted him. Even today, the governor said, we want to thank the family. It must have been hard, but they did the right thing. And Dad is a 27-year veteran of the sheriff's department there.
Yeah.
God, that's just. They took him to that place.
So what is this Discord? Because this always comes up in these shootings.
So Discord it's a place where you can do group chats, right? And the way that it's done is essentially the whole thing is the government's not going to be able to see in there, right? It's encrypted in such a way. It's the way to protect everybody. You can have this conversations, and they're not going to be able to get into it and see it.
Gotcha.
And it's like a messaging app.
It's basically a social media platform, and it was popularized by gamers.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
And then it became really popular, too, amongst the Ukrainians in the war.
Because nobody could, like the Russians couldn't monitor their communications.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where that's where that really started to take off. So you had the gamers, because you go play games, you could do all kinds of stuff, and it was like a WhatsApp, but and then it grew from there. And then, people like to go there because it's a way of, saying, oh, we're having conversations and nobody's going to see this thing. Nobody's going to hack into this thing.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people have, but it's a young thing. I mean, the older people, I've got Discord. I don't use it much.
Mm-hmm.
I've used pretty much everything, but this is where, and this guy, again, he thought this thing through.
Oh, definitely.
He wanted to do this. His family was talking, his friends were saying that he had, had hate. I don't. Just because everybody thinks it can't be my kid, right? My kid's not going to do something. My kid's not going to twist off like that.
Yeah.
My kid's not going to. Well, I guess once Dad saw the picture, he started asking questions, and so did everybody else, because they kind of knew almost instantly, he's got that shirt. I know who that is.
Well, see, and that's kind of what makes me wonder. Remember yesterday, they were going to hold a news conference at 1 o'clock Middle Tennessee time. And they abruptly suspended it, if you will, because of multiple ongoing developments. And so I'm wondering if just, kind of on what you just said, if Dad looked at those photos and thought, that looks like my son.
Yeah, I know who that is.
They started then planning how they were going to get him in custody.
Yeah, and he confronted him. And he confessed. And like you said, he gave pushback at that point in time. Good God. Y'all need Jesus. Jesus in your life. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. I'm out here. It's Dirt Days, Bobcat. Opportunity coming down. We're going to be another hour. Still some food out there. Opportunity to win a mower. Right, it's a push mower, right? But it's this big thing, and you walk behind it. It's just so awesome.
Can you bring back some dirt for my ankle?
I am going to do that as well,
mayonnaise.
Bell. And mayonnaise. Oh, mayonnaise, baby. Chad Benson Show, hour number 3, straight ahead. Super Talk 997. One more hour.
2 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now, we've got a crash, left lane blocked, 40 eastbound, but I wouldn't worry about it because it's just now showing up on my map as it being in Holiday, Tennessee, in Benton County. Now, if you're headed that way, well, just keep in mind there's a crash on 40 eastbound there at Holiday, Tennessee. Utah authorities have arrested 22-year-old Tyler Robinson in connection with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Robinson taken into custody last night after his father recognized him from surveillance images released by the FBI. According to Utah Governor Spencer Cox, the suspect's family helped delivering him into law enforcement custody.
Kristen Schwerman is a neighbor who lives 3 doors down from Tyler Robinson's family. She was a custodian at his elementary school and says he's extremely smart and always did well in school. She's in shock.
I'm just heartsick for it.
She says Tyler Robinson was a quieter child who never got into trouble.
That's not who he was. That's not who he was raised to be.
She thinks social media changed him. She says she did not initially recognize him in the photos the FBI released. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Right now near Chicago, a suspect is dead and an ICE agent is severely injured during an enforcement operation in Franklin Park. Here's Channel 5 Chicago reporter Regina Waldrop.
Here's what multiple law enforcement agencies are telling us. They were about to pull someone over when the person took off and an agent was then dragged. We don't know what agency the agent worked for, but the car has a lot of front end damage.
Now, ICE officers attempted to arrest Silviero Villegas Gonzalez, an undocumented immigrant with a history of reckless driving during what is described as a targeted law enforcement activity. The ICE agent, by the way, is in stable condition. Apparently, Gonzalez died at the hospital. This incident occurred during Operation Midway Blitz, the federal immigration enforcement campaign announced in the Chicago area last week. And the federal government is suing Uber. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
The U.S. attorney in San Francisco claims Uber has been routinely denying service to riders who have disabilities and that it's been charging for cleanup after a service animal sheds in a car. A new lawsuit also claims Uber has been charging cancellation fees to disabled riders who have been illegally denied service. The federal government says it wants Uber to modify its policies and to stop discriminating against riders who have disabilities. Uber says it disagrees with the DOJ's allegations and that it has a zero-tolerance policy for service denials of disabled riders. Alex Stone, ABC News.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
boys, here's a question. I was thinking about this today, and this sounds so friggin' weird, but I'm going to say it anyway, so I don't care. You think they get the reward? Think about that. They turned him in. I mean, that was the.
I would hope so. I mean, encourage people to turn in killers, even if they are family.
I mean, it's weird. It's like, oh God, it sucks that our kid did horrible things and he's an evil SOB and we should disown him. But they did offer $1 million with who was it? Ackerman put in $1 million. Robbie Starbuck put in some money. They had $100,000. You're looking at 1-1. I mean, it sounds like
it's Robbie and somebody else added in $25,000. I can't remember who the other person is.
Yeah. See, so. I mean, you didn't do it for that. And then the thing is, if they said, hey, we got this money for you, would you take it? And because you don't want to be like, no, I wouldn't take it. And then your kid hears about it in jail before they put him on the night-night juice. And, hey, Dad, did you take that? Well, I had to pay for your kid, your brothers to go to school because you ruined our life, you SOB. But I did, somebody just asked that question. Tell me they're not going to get the reward. Well, they didn't know he did it, and they were the first ones to snitch on him. And I don't think there's I don't think they would ask for the reward. I don't. But, I mean, it's an interesting thing. There's no doubt about that. Very interesting. So if you guys haven't heard, they got the guy. I wasn't impressed with the FBI. I haven't been impressed with several things of this administration that I thought I was going to be more impressed with. I actually thought Bondi was going to be way better. She has not done a good job, and I've heard that from a lot of you. Chris and I have talked about that before. I have not been impressed with Cash. I haven't. I thought he would be better, and I don't. Yesterday, even when they had they go and they have this press conference, he didn't even talk. Well, why are you there? You're the head of the FBI. I mean, there's nobody that is in the room that's more powerful that should have the voice, and you didn't say a word. So that I found that to be fascinating as well. So we'll see. Again, the dad turned him in. The way it worked out was, I don't know if it was his roommate or his friend. They were talking the night before at dinner too about Charlie being there, and the guy was angry, and he was talking about how much he hated him and how much Charlie was full of hate. And, this is another thing. I think something they need to start teaching in school is conflict resolution.
Bingo.
I have a conflict. Right? I mean, don't you think we should have a situation where you sit down and then you guys talk things through. And even if you don't agree at the end, you shake hands and you walk away and you find out, hey, both you guys lived and everything's good. You differed in an opinion. But part of that, and telling you, Ken, part of the big issue is we plan everything for kids, even in schools to the point of recess. We don't want there to be, we plan the way they play their games and the way it's no longer run free, have fun, make up games. Kids will get pissed off because you cheated or you did this. I didn't know that rule. There's conflict resolution, and then they fix it and they move on.
Yeah. And that's one thing that, our buddy Scott Sapicki, who is the chairman of the House Education Subcommittee, was the reason for, increasing recess time in Tennessee public schools. It's because during COVID, everything became so freaking scripted and restricted. You had to sit in a certain place when you get to school. You can't just get up and go talk to your friends. I mean, growing up, man, that's where we were allowed to just be ourselves and do whatever we wanted during recess.
Oh my, that was it. I mean, I've heard stories, in California, New York, and Chicago where they have recess coaches.
Yeah.
What the hell's a recess coach? I'm playing dodgeball.
Right. We may have had, there might have been a teacher or a coach, kind of standing around, kind of watching things. But for the most part, they just left us alone.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Now, it just seems like everything. I know at my son's school, man. I mean, he was like assigned a place to sit in the gym until class started. Which, that's ridiculous.
Man,
My friend, she told me now she's a principal, but she said we have recess coaches, and I said, what the hell do they do? They they're monitors, but they're out there telling kids, do it this way. And if a kid loses, you don't lose. The other person you just didn't do as good as it was this whole thing about trying to build up self-esteem. But what it was taking away critical thinking, taking away individuality, taking away all of the things that mattered that make you a grown adult.
Right. I had a coach. He wasn't a coach. He was actually our math teacher in the 6th grade. And on Fridays, during the afternoon recess, which was always our long one, it was always like a 45-minute recess.
Yeah.
He let us box each other. I mean, I got my ass whipped one time, too, man. This buddy of mine, he just whipped my ass. But, I mean, you got beat up. I mean, we weren't hurt by any means. I mean, the boxing gloves were like the size of, I mean, they were big, and I mean, you weren't going to get injured. But they don't do this nowadays.
God, no. They don't even have a boxing glove at a school.
It was fun, man. It was fun to do stuff like that.
Oh, there used to be coaches back in the day. They'd be like, you guys, you need to sort it out right now. Let's get this done.
Exactly.
And then they would sort it out. And you know what? The teachers would pick you up and they say, all right, that's enough.
Yep.
Shake hands. All right, go back to school. Go back to playing.
Yeah. Now, now in this day and age, if a kid is getting bullied and the kid tries to protect himself, he's in trouble too.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Well, and part of that goes back to that liberal wackadoo mindset where they got rid of any kind of justice. They went to that restorative justice in certain things. So kids could never get in trouble. And nobody was, teachers, it's one of the things the teacher said when all the kids came back from COVID, it was like something switched. And then you couldn't do anything, and there was no discipline. Man, I had a teacher, Miss Winston. She would slap you in the back of your head, and she had these nails, they were talons, and she would grab you, and you would go home and tell your mom, Miss Winston grabbed me, and she grabbed me so hard. And she goes, what did you do? Right? It was never, oh, not you, baby. It's like, well, you're probably acting a fool. That's what you get.
Man. Absolutely, man. I mean, I had teacher. I told you guys about the teacher. I had history teacher in the 8th grade, Miss Jones. She'd say, boy, you got a bad case around your mouth. Get up here. And she would bend you. She'd make you bend over her desk, put your hands on her desk, and she would ball up her fist and hit you in the butt. And I mean, we loved it whenever it would happen to somebody else because it was funny. You can't do that stuff nowadays.
No. And you know what? Your friend would get slapped in the back of the head or something like that, and you would laugh, and they come over and slap you. And then he would, but there was discipline. But the thing is, the discipline wasn't one of those things where it was restored. It was immediate. It wasn't dangerous or evil.
Right.
And then it was over at that second.
Right.
And we moved on.
Yeah, I remember in the 7th grade, there was a bully on the bus that I was on. And finally, somebody told one of the coaches about him. And we pull up to the school one day, and there are 2 of the coaches standing there. And he gets off the bus. They take him somewhere. He never bullied anybody else on that bus the rest of the year. I mean, he sat down and he kept his mouth shut and he left everybody alone.
Yeah, I mean, it was. But it was handled.
I guarantee you they didn't put him in timeout.
No, timeout. We didn't have time. You know the worst thing you would get? I would rather get swats or slapped in the back of the head. What they used to give you, like, punishment was they knew I couldn't sit. They used to give us you had to write like 500 sentences. I will not do this again.
Yeah.
Or you had to copy 3 pages in the dictionary. You're like, this sucks.
Yeah, timeout was the time you spent out of class while they whipped your ass.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all they did in my schools, man.
Yeah, but you paid attention and nobody died.
Yep.
And you know what? If there was a teacher that was awful, another teacher would step in and go, I don't know what the hell you think you're doing.
Yeah.
That's not the way you do that. But there was always a thought that, I can step, and I may step over, and this may happen to me, but it's not going to be horrible. There was justice because I did something wrong. And the funny thing is,
you do something wrong. You know you did something wrong, and you take the punishment and you move on.
Yep.
Nowadays, it's you can't punish the kids. They've got this, because of kids of color, they're disproportionately punished. And so, there's no fathers in the home and do that. We can go on and on about all these things. But then it was like, well, if we can't punish the kids, we'll just let them do whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? When you let kids do whatever they want, they grow up to be adults that think they can do whatever they want.
They grow up to be real a-holes.
Oh, super A. Look, people are talking about their paddle masters.
Oh.
I think that's a different thing, sir. Yeah. So. That's a little different.
My teachers had some interesting paddles. There was one teacher I had. I don't know. I guess if there were holes in the paddle, it hurt worse somehow. I don't know. I got whipped with both kinds of paddles, and it
lowered the wind
the
resistance.
Yeah,
it lowered the wind resistance.
Yeah.
They all hurt.
They did. They all hurt. I mean, thank you, sir. May I have another? Don't ever say that. Man, when I was in a Baptist school. This didn't go well, by the way. I went to a Baptist school. We went to a Nazarene school, then I went to a Baptist school. Not the same religion. We pretend it's the same religion, not even close.
Right.
The Nazarenes are like, yeah, we're Christian, kind of, sort of, like we are, like they are, but Baptists, they were serious about it. And we went over there. There was 8 of us that went from elementary school to junior high. None of us made it through the 8th grade. They didn't, and our teachers. But I got swats every day, and my mom wasn't always the most attention-paying mom. So we had a VHS player, and we had Animal House. My mother for years thought it was the Muppets. She didn't know. I'm sitting there watching Animal House because there's boobs on the TV. It's just the greatest thing ever, and. The Kevin Bacon, thank you, sir, may I have another.
Yeah.
So I said that when I was getting paddled.
Oh, boy.
And it was just.
That didn't go well, did it?
No, it didn't. And the funny thing was, they acted like they knew what it. They acted like, oh, how dare you, right? And they went. And then my dad's all. First of all, my dad laughed. He goes, well, that was kind of funny. And secondly, he's like, how would you guys know what that was all about? Because you're supposed to not know those things because you're supposed to be pious, kind of.
Right.
Well, yeah. So, oh God, that was. But there, the conflict resolution, that should be a class taught. It should absolutely.
I mean, it's going to have to be if you're not going to be allowed to be a kid out on the playground.
I know. God, that's as everybody always calls me a Euro. Watch the way the Europeans teach their kids. It is so fascinating that, first of all, in many of the Scandinavian, even like the Dutch and stuff. Kids don't go to school at preschool or kindergarten. They sometimes don't go to school till they're 9 or 10 in some areas. And when they do, it's about learning. Like you could get up and walk out of the classroom as a kid and go climb a tree, come back in, and the teacher would be like, "What'd you learn?" It's a different way. And now we can't do that because we have so many kids, and it's a little different. They have school, but it's more free. They still let kids be kids. They still let them do that. We have just decided that we want to. The one thing about recess, it was free of what we were just doing. All you did was move classroom outside with the ball.
Yeah.
And the bullies took care of themselves eventually. Eventually, they took care of themselves, and kids took care of problems. But kids also. Free thinking, coming up with games, doing things, making up the rules, fighting with each other. That's also how you found out who your leaders were. Like what kid was a little bit more leadery than the other kids? Nothing. We take that all away from them. We want everybody to be just pay attention. Yes, sir. No, sir. Oh, this drives me crazy. Coming up a little bit, we're going to try to find somebody around here that's going to tell us more about things going on here. We're out here. It's Dirt Days. I've had some snacks that I probably shouldn't have. 2 hot dogs. I did it, guys. I had 2 hot dogs, and I had the big brownie. Did you have anything out there, Ken, when you were out there?
They were cooking up some dogs, right? But I had to leave to come do the news. But yeah, they were cooking up some dogs. They had a whole bunch of other snacks and some drinks, and it was a good time out there at Bobcat of Wilson County.
Yeah, so we're out here at Bobcat, right out here in Laverne. So if you guys have a chance, come on out here. We're going to be out here for another 40 minutes or so. Still a chance for you to win. They got the WB 7000 motor. It's a walk-behind mower.
So come on out here, a chance to do that. They got great deals going on all day. We're going to be here for another 40 minutes or so. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Prize Picks. Opportunities abound. Prize Picks is amazing. You don't know what it is. So you have a chance to win up to 2,000 times your money. And you have 2 to 6 people that you pick in your lineup. Now, this is based off players, stats, projections. It's more, it's less. It's that simple. You are not picking teams and lines. These are players. They've already given you one right now. So if you go and join today, prizepicks.com, so you got to pick 2 players to have a lineup. They're giving you a free one, essentially, which is what they call a max discount. Travis Kelce this weekend. Do you think he's going to get more than a half a yard in receiving? Okay, so there's one. Then you pick somebody on the other team or another team that's not even playing in that game, even another sport. Do you think they're going to get more or less than whatever their stat projection is? It's that simple, and you can win up to 2,000 times your money. Fun? Yes. Easy when you got some knowledge of the sports and you understand that, you go and that feeling, 100%. And here's the other great thing. When you use my code Chad, so you go to Prize Picks, you download the app, they're going to give you $50 in lineups free when you play your first $5 lineup. $50 right into your account. You can play that the minute you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use my code Chad. Get that $50 in lineups free after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Charlie Kirk suspect in custody, and an ICE operation in Chicago leaves an officer injured and a suspect dead. Details at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's very interesting listening to getting text messages from people telling him what the school used to call the paddle that they got hit with. This was the Board of Education.
Yeah, I loved that one.
The Board of Education. Oh, my. This is Mr. Wood.
Mr. Wood.
He's coming to drop a can of whoop. It's just, that is so, man, that is, and you know what? We today, like, if you told teachers that could happen, I mean, the kids today, they'd be like, what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they didn't care, right? Because the thing is, parents knew that you're a pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
See, my parents knew that I was a pain. So they knew that, hey, outside of killing him, you're a little carte blanche to do something. Because he don't listen to us.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I went to school, I never had an incident in any of my. Now, I didn't go to, I didn't live in any major cities, major metropolitan areas or anything like that. But none of the kids in my school ever stood up and backtalked the teacher. You just didn't do it. And if you did, and if you would have done it, you would have paid a price.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, those teachers and those coaches there in East Texas, whenever I lived there, they did not mess around.
No, they didn't. And they knew. It wasn't one of those things where today the kids run everything for the most part.
Well,
and
even at
fear.
school. If I would have done that at school, I would have had to have dealt with my dad.
Yeah, that's what somebody said. Somebody just said, when I was a kid growing up, if I got spanked at school, I was going to get spanked at home.
Yes, sir.
It was not my fault. You got to believe me. Oh, it wasn't? No. They was like, you probably deserved it. Again, you're acting a fool.
Yeah, there was no, son, tell me your side.
It was always like, you know what? You can't hang out with Johnny. He's bad. I told you that. That's just what you get for hanging out with Johnny. These are the consequences of your actions.
I feel sorry for teachers today, man.
Yeah.
I mean, especially the good ones who have to deal with stuff like this, man.
Well, you're dealing with God knows how many young kids who by the way, would look at their parents and say, you don't have the right to do that to me.
Exactly. Because the parents won't. The parents are weak.
Yeah. I told my like when these parents, I want to be friends with my kids. Yeah, I do. When they're older, then I'll be a friend. Right now I said, I'm their parent. And in this house, yes, there is a dictator in the house.
You betcha. I'm your friend, but I'll still whip your ass.
Yeah.
Like you got one that barely listens to you.
Yeah. It's just, it is amazing to watch the way that we've had. And after COVID, something happened. And it just went sideways. And, from restorative justice to just kids didn't care. There's no fear. Right? Like, you can't even get suspended. Remember when you got suspended from school? That's not, you got an in-school suspension. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Well, what's in-school suspension? You got to come to school. Then I'm just going to school. Well, you got to be in a room by yourself. Well, cool. I'll do this every day. Well, I usually was, but that's not the point. I was so bad in 4th grade that I started the year out facing the teacher. So everybody else was facing one way. I was facing him at it because he knew. They knew. By the end of the second week, I had to spend the entire year sitting outside of the door with the door open.
The only thing I ever had in that respect is that there was a kid, he had to sit right up by the teacher's desk. His desk was pulled right alongside the teacher's desk, and he had to just sit there and face everybody.
Oh, my God. That's what I was facing him, and they – because I couldn't be in the front row because it was worse, because he used to say it was, oh, geez, it's like putting Chad in front of a stage. So we're going to have him face this direction. So I'm facing the opposite direction, looking at the teacher's desk, and I just look at him when he'd be back there. You guys all need to do your work. And I just stare at him. Yeah, this isn't going to last long. So and then eventually put me outside. But then that didn't go as well as they thought, because they realized I could just get up and walk away. I've had enough. Oh, my Lord. Those were the days. But you know what? Paid the price for it. I got in trouble all the time. Man, and I got on restriction, too. Real restriction.
Yeah.
I got on real restriction. We're like, okay, you can go out back. That's it. Can I see my friends? Never.
Yeah, see, that was the big deal, man. If you kept me away from my friends, that hurt. I didn't like that. Like if you had to, you couldn't go out to recess or something like that. But that followed getting your butt busted.
Yeah.
You got your butt busted, and you couldn't go out to recess.
Oh, God. The recess. Oh, if you couldn't go out to recess, you would just, and you'd be on restriction. You'd be like, you have to be inside for the next 3 days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you'd lose recess.
Well,
it was like the worst. that Tuesday night going into Wednesday night, this is the worst day ever.
Well, whenever it happened to me, all those pretty girls, they really suffered because they couldn't chase me.
Yeah, I know. Well, and it sucked for them, too, because I did my homework. So that was that. I did, too. Did you do your homework? Cindy, did I do my homework? I did, sir. All right, coming back, we got more to talk about. I'll talk a little bit about what happened in Utah. They got the shooter, the alleged shooter, but it's the shooter, let's be real. And he's not talking to the police, apparently. No cooperation going on. Talk about that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and looks like we are in for a hot weekend. We could see temperatures back up into the 90s as soon as today. Full forecast in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Utah's Governor Spencer Cox identifying Tyler Robinson as the suspect in the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
We got him.
Authorities tracked the suspect's movements at Utah Valley University with images and in a video released showing a person running across a rooftop after the shooting. The governor says a family member of the 22-year-old reached out to a family friend who then contacted authorities about Robinson. And in Washington, Utah, neighbors of the suspect are now speaking out.
As Tyler Robinson was growing up, Kristen Schwerman says she knew him well. She lives only 3 doors down from the Robinson family and was a custodian at his elementary school.
He was a very quiet.
She says he did very well in school and scored high on the ACT test. She thinks social media changed him.
I think a lot of it's mental health problems we have.
ABC's Alex Stone. The FBI says it also located a gun near the campus. This is ABC News.
Right now in Chicago, more official details about a traffic stop by immigration police in Chicago this morning that left an officer injured and an immigrant dead. Here's Chuck Sievertson.
Immigration police stopped a car to arrest Silverio Villegas Gonzalez in Chicago, says a statement from Federal Homeland Security, saying the man was a criminal with a history of reckless driving. It says he refused to follow law enforcement commands and drove his car at officers, hitting one, dragging the officer, quote, a significant distance. Fearing for his own life, the officer fired his weapon, killing Villegas Gonzalez, says the statement.
The ICE officers reported in stable condition. President Trump telling Fox News he plans to deploy the National Guard to Memphis as part of his administration's anti-crime initiative. However, we did not get a timeline on when that will happen. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Busy Bee has a great opportunity for you right now to save big. They're buzzing around. Tons of stuff going on at Busy Bee, an opportunity for you in a major way. Here's the thing about Busy Bee. If you've got issues with plumbing, heating, whatever it is, you get Busy Bee out there, they're going to take care of you. We always talk about our buddy Nate and Gary and everybody out there. When I mean they're the best in the business, they are. The way they treat you, you're going to get beyond value for money. But when you join the Beehive Club, you're part of the family, and they are amazing at what they do. And they've got so many great deals around. And absolutely join the Beehive Club. I'm telling you guys right now, the Beehive Club is absolutely important to join. But they got great things going on. They got the Goodman, 2-ton split heat pump. They've got great deals right there, 10-year parts warranty. They've got amazing opportunities across the board. And here's the great thing. National Grandparents Month all month long. Beehive Club members can gift free Beehive memberships to one set of grandparents. On top of that, they got repipes, $500 off that, $300 tank-to-tankless water heaters. And the big thing, if you refer a neighbor, both of you get it, $50 credit when you schedule HVAC maintenance right there. And free dryer vent. That is massive with any heating service repair. So call Busy Bee Day. Get them out there. Let them take care of stuff, especially as we get towards the winter's coming. You want to make sure you're ready. 775-7833, 775-7833, or online at busybhvac.com. I bet you guys didn't know this, but last week, announcement, TransUnion confirmed data breach. Happened a while ago. 4 million people gone. All their data. Where is it? Well, it's probably on the dark web. Don't let that happen to you. WebRoot is going to help you. Identity protection for up to 10 people. So maybe you've got your family members. You're your mom, your dad, maybe your wife, maybe you. You're like, well, I can easily get taken advantage of it. Have them protect you. WebRoot. 24/7 U.S.-based customer service support, elder fraud line, hotline. And the beauty is it's all U.S.-based. You call them, they're going to answer. It's great. Up to $1 million in fraud expense, identity, web monitoring, plus antivirus, VPN. They're there to protect you from the start to the finish. And you got VPN, which is great. It's awesome. But having stuff that you know is going to protect you from all these phishing scams and everything is awesome. So WebRoot's going to help you out. And this is what I want you to do. You're going to save 50% right now. Don't get caught up in stuff. Protect yourself. When you're on the internet, $10 trillion gets stolen this year. Think about what America does. We talk about the trillions that America brings in, and we spend $10 trillion can be stolen by hackers, which is, don't be one of those people. It is a nightmare. So 50% off right now. Go to webroot.com/Chad, WEBROT.com/Chad, webroot.com/Chad. WebRoot, live a better digital life. Yeah. Brooks is here with me. We're wrapping it up out here. We're going to be here a little bit longer. We're out here in Laverne at the magical Bobcat. It's Dirt Days. You guys get shirts, too. Look at that. Shirts. You can talk now. It's okay.
All right.
There you
go.
go.
We want to thank everybody for coming out. It was a great day. You know, you still got roughly 20 minutes left if you're heading home on 24 to swing on in and scan the QR code to enter in the contest. Going to be giving that away sometime this evening, so you don't have to be here to win. You can just pop in, scan it real quick, and, you know, say what's up and leave.
What's up? So you're going to have a chance to win a mower, and it is a
walk behind WB 7000.
What's the 7,000? So like
small frame,
yeah.
36 inches on the deck, so easily able to maneuver hills, able to get into backyards, stuff like that. Fences these days are 4 foot, so
yeah.
36-inch deck, you're easily able to get in.
Easy to push?
Yes, sir.
So you probably didn't know this.
It pulls you.
Well, there you go. You probably didn't even know this, but back in my day, I used to have a push mower. So this is because my family hated me, and they wanted me to become like I used to always say, it's like Conan. If you ever watched the movie Conan back in the day, he has to push this thing in a circle, and he starts out as a kid, and then he's just this giant guy. And that was kind of what we were dealing with because it was so hard. But these things are so awesome. And you have a chance to win it. So you can still come here, just scan the code, and that's it.
Yes, sir.
Tell everybody else what's going on.
So we have 25% off rental. We're honoring that all day today until 5 o'clock when we close. Also 10% off parts. So you guys that are our loyal customers, come in and take advantage of that. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, and by the way, because we were having a chat, Kirby and I were asking, so what's this thing next to us? What's it cost to rent? It's like, it's $250. I go, so I could just rent it? He goes, no, we don't. We've fallen for that before. So the yahoos don't get to rent this.
No, sir. We prefer to have a business come in. That way we know they have the insurance. If something happens to it while they're hauling it, to...
I bet you have some stories, right?
We do have some stories.
Give us a story.
We have had some horror stories about people strapping them down with yellow ratchet straps and losing them. So, that's somebody that's not qualified. They're not in the business. So we know if you are in the construction industry, you at least know how to tie this thing down, and you probably have the insurance that's going to cover it if something does happen.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody really thought that was a good idea.
Oh, yeah. One ratchet strap. Yes, sir.
Wow. That was expensive.
Very.
Did you guys get a phone call one day? Hey, I think this thing's out here.
Yep.
This might be yours.
Yep.
That person probably got home and goes, I have no idea where my Bobcat was.
Yep.
That is awesome. So if you're just the yahoo, you can't come down and get one of these. Now, you can buy one, though. That's the funny thing. You can't rent it. But if you want to buy it, they're fine with that.
Yes, sir. Come see me. Brooks Goodson. I cover Rutherford and Bedford County. My phone number is 615-416-4431. I'd love to have a chat with you and love to have an opportunity to earn your business.
So what else have we got out there?
Oh, any and everything in the compact industry. Side-by-sides, mini track loaders, mini X's, compact track loaders, skid steers, what we're famous for. So we created this industry, and it's what we do best. So
nice.
We stand behind that.
Stand behind it. Right on. Appreciate that. Get on down here. Tell everybody where you're at.
We're at 149 Industrial Boulevard here at Bobcat of Nashville in Laverne, Tennessee. Come see us.
Thanks for feeding us today. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thanks for having. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, and by the way, the food was so nice. So nice. So it was just delicious. I appreciate you making me larger than I should be. It's not working like I thought I was going to, doing all those sit-ups. Just saying. So you guys are open till
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
We're 7 to 5 Monday through Friday.
That's right, because you got to get at it early, right? You're going to be digging stuff early.
Yes, sir.
How many people do you think bought this or rented this? And they dug right through all of the phone lines and then the electricity because they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, I bet probably a number so big that we couldn't count.
Oh, Brooks, appreciate it, man. Thanks
yes,
so much.
Sir. Thanks for coming.
Oh, so Matt's going to be on here in a little bit. He's going to join me. We'll talk about what's going on with the shooter. They got him today. That's how they came out. Cox, who was Spencer Cox, who was the Utah. It was really interesting. The Utah mayor really did a vast majority of the press conference today, and I was kind of like, that's interesting. And I thought he was really good. He's very upset about everything. But one of the things I was surprised about is he started talking about social media, and we talk about it too. Social media makes, they design it to be addictive. The problem is the food that we crave is division and anger. And I get it from, even people who are here on this, when they text us or they go on the text line or on, YouTube or whatever. Even my uncle. My uncle's a perfect example of somebody. He's like, dude, look what they're doing here. Look what this guy said about Charlie. Or look what they said. They're evil. They're horrible. They're da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah. I said, but why are you looking at that? Why? Well, it pops up on my feed. Well, it doesn't pop up on your feed out of accident. It pops up on your feed because you're telling it what you want to hear. And he was really big on social media, today, saying how evil it is and how we need to stop social media. Well, first of all, you're never going to stop it, right? Because 99% of us don't abuse it in that way. We're looking at silly, like for me, my social media, because, I've got my accounts and I use them and I do them, but I've learned how to manipulate a lot of these things when it comes to what I want on my algorithms. And the other night I was telling you guys, I had to send my uncle. He sent me 20 different things about horrible things that people said about, and who were celebrating. I'm like, first of all, what do you care about this person that you'll never meet and that you do not know and that you care very little about? It was only there to rile you up. It's rage bait because they know they're going to get a rage out of you. They're not. Here's the thing. they're not interested in you being somebody who supports them in that situation. They want to piss you off. You know how we do hot takes on Tuesday, but our hot takes are fun and they're,
right.
This is different. This is rage bait, Ken. People like the rage bait.
They're looking for clicks.
Yes, and they want clicks from other people that are mad at them because they're going to say stuff which is going to rile up people. Then the fight goes, and then what happens? An audience builds, which drives me crazy. And that's why I kept telling everybody, you're feeding it that, though, because you're liking it, you're clicking it, you're leaving a message, you're sharing it to other people, which tells the algorithm, oh, you want more of this. You like this. And I had to start sending him silly, stupid, like, look at this person cuddling a bat. Right? And by the way, if you've never seen a bat walk, it's the coolest thing you've ever seen. It is, Here's a sloth. Look at the sloth. He's funny. And the
Hyrax was the best one, though.
The Hyrax. So the Hyrax, you don't know what it is. It is, I think they're from Africa, parts of Asia. They're just... It's a cross between.
I guess it's kind of like a guinea pig.
It's a prairie dog meets a guinea pig meets. It's just they're hilarious, and they have this scream, and they'll look at you and go. And I had to send him 20 of those because he was so enraged. And then finally, he started sending me funny stuff because once he started liking them or sharing or looking at them, they started sending him stuff. The algorithm sending me stuff that almost calm him down, kind of thing. And it's. If you feed it, if you ask it, think of it as a genie. If you go and you ask it, and by asking it means you're liking, you're clicking, you're sharing, you're interacting with something like the people fighting, the anger, it's going to give you that over and over again, which enrages you, and then it becomes a rage bait. Rage bait.
And I'm telling you, man, evil feeds off of fear and anger.
Yes.
It just feeds off of it. And it can make you do something that you really regret.
Yeah. Oh, so much. And that's how this kid, he wasn't created in a vacuum. He saw something and then he found it and he liked it. And the next thing he was clicked a few different things and he starts listening to stuff. And then he gets around other people that are like that and angry, and then it starts building in him. But it's not building. His thought process was based on how much he hated Charlie. It wasn't how much he believed in his ideas. See, when you believe in your ideas, you're willing to have people challenge them and debate them and take them on one-on-one. This was all based on the opposite of that. It was based on hate and a disdain. Not based on, because real people who have a serious dispute when it comes to ideology or beliefs, they will go and have that conversation. What Charlie did. Charlie had lots of conversations, lots of them, hundreds of thousands of debates in front of lots of people. Never was mean or disingenuous or he would respectfully disagree. He would have conversations with you. He would throw his ideas out there. And he was more than likely going to win. And in some people's minds, he changed. In other people's minds, they came there not wanting to have their mind changed, just to fire off something pithy at him. But when you spend time with somebody, you'd be surprised when you meet them. It's a different world, and you find out that they don't. Hey, you're different than I thought. There's more to you, and we've lost that humanity. We need more of that in this country. We need to listen more. You need to listen more. That's what we don't do. Listening is super important. I read all of your stuff here. Like, everybody sends me stuff. For the most part, I try to read it all and get back to it. And that includes, we'll get a couple hundred, sometimes more a day. And I try to get back to everybody. Same in my text line for my national show. I get so many, and I try to reach back out to everybody because I want to know what you're feeling, what you're listening. Want to know why you're so angry at stuff. We need to listen more. Part of winning a debate, if you have to win a debate, you never go into debate hoping to win, or a conversation like that. Never go in there trying to change somebody. Go listen to what they have to say. The best way to learn about something that you think your ideas stand up against is to look at it from their point of view, find out what it is that they see that is different. Because a lot of times you'll find out stuff doesn't match up, and maybe you weren't getting the whole truth, or they're not getting the whole truth. All right, coming up, Matt's going to join us. I'm out this time. Yesterday, he was out drinking wine or something. He's enjoying the program straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
I'm Pastor Alan Jackson, and I'm excited to invite you to join me for my brand new show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8, I'll be talking about the week's news and headlines, but through a biblical lens. Together, we'll look at what's happening in our world and how God's Word can guide us through it. Join me, Pastor Alan Jackson, Sunday evenings at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And you can listen on iHeartRadio and tune in.
Wrapping it up on this Friday. Our buddy Matt. Welcome, Matt. How's it going, brother?
Hello, Mr. Chad. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Well, I'm not out with dirt digging equipment, having a good time doing that sort of thing, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, we dirt. You know what? They may need to get one of these buckets to take me to the car. I had a couple hot dogs and stuff.
Oh,
but
did you?
Yeah, just like last night I saw you. You're like, hey, we're at the wine place. Come
Little-
get some wine with me.
Little lethargic out there at the dirt digging joint, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know, you know this, dude. After you eat something every once in a while, you're just like, I want to chill.
Want to take a nap?
Yeah. And then you're out in front of people like, I can't take a nap. Not now. Not now.
What'd you have, hot dogs?
Yeah, they had hot dogs. They had chicken hot dogs. They had burgers. They had these incredible brownie chocolate chip things. Oh, goodness me.
Did you, were they grilled hot dogs? Grilled?
Yeah, they had
on
a
the
huge grill out here.
Charcoal grill?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my favorite. So
It's what the Lord
burn-
wants.
Like keep it going like twice as long as you think the hot dog should stay on the grill, and then feed it to me. Like I love it.
Exactly. And you know what's funny? If you go to a restaurant or a place, like you have a hot dog, right? You know, you go to Chicago style hot dogs, you get one hot dog. You go anywhere else, or you're doing it yourself, you're like, I'll have 12 of those.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have one hot dog.
No, you can't. It was like, I'm not paying for it. It's so bizarre.
How many come in a pack?
Was it 8 or 10? Well, it depends.
No,
right?
it's 10. No, which was it? It's 10 hot dogs and 8 buns.
That's right.
And no one understands why.
Because Big Bun.
Big Bun wants you to get those extra buns, and then you got the extra buns, and then there they are. And then you know what you have to buy with them?
More hot dogs.
More hot dogs. So Big Bun and Big Hot Dog are in bed together.
Then you find out there are shell companies that are running everything.
Well,
this
and
is the
all
way
of them,
this works.
and Big Bun and Big Hot Dog are obviously owned by Big Pharma because you got to take some blood pressure medication because you're too fat because you're eating all those hot dogs.
That's right. That's it. Oh, what are you talking about today? Any news?
I mean, you know, obviously we're going to cover the latest in news involving the assassin of Charlie Kirk, or the suspected assassin of Charlie Kirk, and then we've got a number of guests today to talk about some of these, I don't understand the ego and hubris involved in publicly proclaiming your joy over the death of another human being. That's one thing. And two, thinking that there will be no consequence. And Matthew Hurt, who is heard often on Nashville's Morning News, has stopped by. He's going to be in studio with us talking about his reaction to MTSU, this assistant dean. We got Michael Lotfy, who focused in on the Cumberland University situation. I mean, these folks think, I don't understand their line of thought that they believe that they are free of consequence from their spoken words, but apparently they're learning a few lessons over the last 24 hours or so.
I'm not a big fire somebody because they say something stupid. You aren't either. You and I understand that. But there is also a point of decency and the way that some people have celebrated this, and then they're surprised that something happened to them. This is not a debate about whether or not you liked his speech or you think he's this, that. This was about a human being who died in front of thousands and millions of people in front of his kids.
Right.
And the way that this thing is gone it is insane. And like you said, you have free speech, but the consequences came for you in there, especially educators, which is just mind-blowing.
Well, and if you put your company, the place of employment, if you put them in a position where they have to defend negative backlash, you better be in a very strong position within that company. Otherwise, you expect to get fired, or at least should.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening to these folks. So we'll talk about that today, too.
Man, very interesting. So Matt's got that, a whole bunch of other stuff. Are you watching football this weekend? Who's Georgia play?
Georgia has I think we have the University of Tennessee Volunteers, Chad. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that I'll be in Neyland Stadium about this time tomorrow afternoon watching the Dogs whoop up on Big Orange.
My goodness. Yeah. That's right. Are you wearing Georgia stuff now? You got your Georgia shoes on?
I do.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Can y'all see me?
You know what? I think we all need to get around each other. This is the beauty of sports, man. There's going to be Republicans, Democrats, atheists, religious people, black, white, green, orange, gay, straight, all in the stadium tomorrow, all rooting for or against another team.
Yep.
And it's going to be enjoyable.
We'll hug each other's neck at the end.
Amen, brother. You have yourself a good weekend.
You too.